Boston, who will get us underway, so they'll be defending the end with the Pilgrims fans in. Probably around 200 or so Boston fans have made the journey from Lincolnshire. It is one of the relatively shorter journeys of the season, and hopefully it can be one well worth making for those Pilgrims fans. It is going to be Matty Carson who will get things underway, and he goes to the skipper Zach Mills, and to Sloggett and Boston United. They're going to get things underway with Fogarty going long downfield as Boston United try and get on that front foot early doors. Fogarty and Doku, as Doku wins the ball, and he's going to play it into the edge of the penalty area, goes past Mills, plays it across goal, well blocked by the Pilgrims. Doku tries to get it once again, it's just going to roll out, and we are going to see the first test of Boston United's back line with a long throw 30 seconds in.
What did we say? Don't give away one of those long throws too early. It was a long ball played straight down Hayden Hollis, and I think the ex-Chesterfield man, if he's going to get aerial stuff and not much else to deal with for 90 minutes, he's going to be a very happy customer. He's now up, as is all the artillery. Boston are all the way back in their own box inside this opening minute, and Tom Tonks has got the chance to get those arms going early doors. Yeah,
they've not scored too many goals off the long throw from the initial throw. It's been more the second phase of the long throw that has been causing teams issues, and Boston, with everybody back, there is about 8 players currently in a small circle in the 6-yard box, all battling for a place around Rhys Lovett as Tonks chucks it in long. It's gone all the way to the far post. Lavigne got something on it, and that will go out of play, and it will be a Boston United goal kick. And almost for a second there, Boston lured into that trap of having everybody at the near post, and it bypassed nearly all the team.
Yeah, and Rhys Lovett completely misjudged it as well. He took a couple of steps forward and it sailed completely over his head. Lavinia did well not only to mop up at the back post, but actually take the deflection in a goal kick as well, and Boston just need to settle, because not the best start there from the Pilgrims.
Not even 2 minutes in, it is 0-0 though. And they've survived that first initial test as Carson goes to flick it long, looking for Donnelly, battling for it. Donnelly's done well, just got past his man ever so slightly. Referee says he went down a little too easily there. Dylan Hill goes chasing after it and fouls his man, and that will now be a Tamworth free kick. But I think Kieran Donnelly has a right there to be a little annoyed that he didn't get the decision.
I think so. I think if that's going to be the threshold for a foul this afternoon, then Tamworth are going to really like the look of that, because it was more than a little robust from Hayden Hollis on the edge of his box. He got away with it, and then Dylan Hill, probably at frustration of seeing that go unpunished, definitely bundled his man over in the corner, and it gives Singh the chance to deliver into midfield,
which he does. Doku goes forward. Lancashire has to be careful for the running behind of Stefan Moles, who does pick up possession out on the right hand side, plays to his right. There's a Boston player down in the box. I think it's Sloggett who's gone down here, and him and Tonks colliding. Sloggett going down in the box and in need of treatment here. Now, it's always a difficult one, I think, if the officials don't see it, but Greg Sloggett is suggesting that he got an elbow off the Tamworth number 4.
Yeah, and the referee seemed to immediately look at him and realise he needed treatment. I know referees are never going to give a decision on kind of an impact the collision's caused, but with the linesman on that side as well, if Tonks has gone in with enough force that Sloggett's needed Jumar's assistance, you'd like to see a word being had, even if it is just a friendly warning from the referee. But Tonks has retreated into the midfield pack, and in the end, Sloggett's the man that's punished, because he's the one that's got to be off the field for 30 seconds.
Yeah, Jamie Rayner having a real word there with the assistant as he goes past, and the ball now will be dropped at Rhys Lovett's feet. As Manny Duku, who was, last time I saw him live would have been for Hensford against Gainsborough in the FA Cup last year, when he was on a brilliant goal scoring run, was a casualty really of the money that was brought into Hensford at that time, and lost his place in the team, left the club, and obviously now playing at National League level as Mills comes in to clear it long. Sloggett's still off the pitch. The ball, though, has gone out of play, and Greg Sloggett still waiting to make his return. He's going to be okay to continue, though, as it will be a Tamworth throw. 4.5 minutes in. 0-0 here on Hope and Glory. Rob Makepeace, Christian James guiding you through the action. Last game for Boston for a week and a half, with no FA Cup tie next Saturday. They'll next be playing at Altrincham, who you would imagine by that stage would have appointed a new permanent manager, sacking long-serving Phil Parkinson this week. Ball in the midfield for Alfie Bates to go long, headed away by Mills. Lavinia gets it and plays it forward. Big clearance from Fogarty this time with the head. Waldock flicks it on. It's played out to the left-hand side to Fairlam, the left back. He looks for the run down the left of Bekray Inuru. Inuru trying to take on Lavinia. Inuru goes towards the byline, fires it across goal, way too much on it, and that's going to go out for a Boston United throw. But the trickery there of the Tamworth number 10 causing Boston all sorts of issues at the back.
Quite concerning. We're 5 minutes and 10 seconds into a game which has also had an injury break, and already we've seen 3 of the United back 4 beaten to a challenge about 30 yards from goal. Tamworth have already been round the outside of both full-backs, and Fogarty in the first minute gave away possession after Hollis had headed clear. So early on, the little battles at that end of the pitch are going Tamworth's way, and Zach Mills back in the team just needs to organise his defence here, because, as I say, they've shown signs early that Tamworth can try and run at Boston and get in behind. And I know Lee Bullen spoke before kick-off that they aren't just a long ball and just a throw-in team. They have got ability, and Moles and Onaru and Duku are the antipathy of that, really. Yeah,
Duku's just been spoken to by the referee. I can tell you that if you're a Lincoln City fan wanting post-match reaction to their game at Leyton Orient, you can head to BBC Sounds right now, search Lincoln City. Your post-match reaction is available for you there. We'll play it for you at half-time as well in this game, which is currently goalless between Tamworth and Boston. Lavinia under a little bit of pressure, fires it long down the right wing. Donnelly can't win the header, but it's Geordie Hawula now. Hawula's going to get a shot away. It takes a good block in the end from Hayden Hollis just to take the power off it, and Hawula, first real sign of Boston United an attacking threat 6 minutes in.
Yeah, Donnelly got underneath the header, but his number 11 counterpart Luke Fairlam just headed it on for Hawula instead. And I don't mind him having a go there. He had 3 men on him. He was never going to keep hold of the ball and try and bring anyone into play. So a pot shot at the near post, and lucky it wasn't deflected behind for a corner, but fell quite nicely for Jazz Singh.
So it will be Luke Fairlam, the left back, to take this throw. And again, it's a longish throw, just loops up into the air. Duku can't keep it in play, goes out for a Boston throw now after that real disappointing defeat on Tuesday night against Morecambe. They will want to bounce back. They did after losing to Eastleigh by beating Wealdstone. They did after losing to Truro by drawing at Hartlepool. So something similar today would be nice for those Boston fans, as Sloggett heads it forward, headed away by Milnes. Lavinia now wins Boston United another throw. Tamworth with that opportunity to move into the playoff places with victory here tonight. They've got a big FA Cup tie week on Monday to look forward to, which they had a brilliant time in the competition last season. A bit like Gainsborough Trinity 2 years in a row having a cup run. That is a Boston United throw, but no, it's gone the way of Tamworth, and Fairlam will take it, and Boston just seem to now, after that opening couple of minutes, have settled down a bit, Christian.
They have just settled, and it's their fans that are making the noise behind that goal. I'm not sure if they've travelled in hope or expectation, but they have travelled. I think there's 50 so sat in this main stand as well, so good following from Lincolnshire, and their side are just, I wouldn't say getting on top of the game, but they're in it, aren't they? They know they're in a battle, and they're showing they've got a bit to stand up to it.
Long ball forward from Tamworth. Mills needs to be careful and does just get enough on it to go back to Lovett. It was a hard one for Zach Mills to adjust, but he did manage to adjust and plays it out now to the halfway line on the left for Lancashire, looking for the run of Hawula down that left hand side. He's onside and he's kept the ball in play. Carson now making the run forward, tries to get the cross in, and Boston United have got the first corner of the evening.
Well, he did very well to keep it in play, but the linesman, who is on the far side of this pitch here at the Lamb, was happy it had stayed in play until Carson tried to cross, and it was cut out and by the right winger there. So yeah, first chance for United to try and create something from a corner. They didn't get too many on Tuesday night. What can they find here if they got the routine early doors to try? Tamworth, everyone bar Ducky back.
So corner from Carson, it goes deep into the box. Sloggett heads it back across goal, and adjudged to have fouled his man, and it will be a free kick off for Tamworth. They tried that on Tuesday, didn't they, looking for Greg Sloggett to win that initial header, making a late run into the box, which he did, but adjudged to do so unfairly. We are coming up to the 10-minute mark here on Hope and Glory. It is Tamworth 0, Boston United 0. And remind you, if you are a Lincoln City fan wanting your post-match reaction to defeat today at Leyton Orient, keeps the Imps in the same spot, 6th in the table. Everybody in the top 6 not winning today, although Stockport are still to play this weekend, but it is pretty much status quo. Stevenage and Bradford drawing with one another, Cardiff losing against Bolton, and Wimbledon losing at home to Burton. So Lincoln City post-match reaction available now on BBC Sounds. Just search for Lincoln City Red Imps Club and make sure while you're there you press subscribe so you never miss an episode of the podcast. Long throw for Tamworth, out on the right hand side this time, not too far away from Graham Coughlan's dugout, but that doesn't really matter to Tonks, who will throw it into that penalty area once again, headed away by Sloggett out to the left hand side of the penalty area. Waldock back defending, gets half a clearance on it. Tonks chucks it back into the box with his right boot this time, again partially cleared by Boston, but it's back out on the right with Tonks again going towards the byline, gets the cross in but puts it straight into the Boston United flags, which are fluttering in the wind, and it's still goalless.
Interesting, we've seen the 2 throws from Tonks, one very flat and threatening kind of half the box, and that one very much delivered with dip on it, an aerial threat, and just landing on the spot. So he is able to kind of edit his approach to things. What he wasn't able to do there was keep his cross in, and when trying with his feet, and just not able to recycle it for Tamworth there. But Boston so far in their own box at least landing on the first balls.
As Tonks goes for an effort from a long way out, and Lovett is back on his line. It was near enough from the halfway line there, and Boston didn't win the initial header, and you could see what Tonks was trying there, and I can see the flags are fluttering. I'm not quite sure. I think that the wind is for Tamworth, isn't it, in this first half, judging by the effort there from Tonks and the fact that Lovett isn't getting much on his clearances, as now Tamworth come forward once again with Duku played into the box. But yeah, certainly seems maybe we're quite shielded where we are at the back of the stand here, but maybe a little bit more wind than we thought. Yeah,
we were complaining about the cold. We maybe don't know how lucky we are in here, and Lovett's immediate kick out, having caught that effort as well, did just seem to arc back a little bit into his own half, as does this one as well. So there's obviously a bit of a breeze up there. Tonks aware to Lovett's positioning, and
Sloggett miscontrolled it, but then got a bit of luck and fires it out with the right outside of the right boot to the left hand side to Hiwula, and Boston United, well, 0-0 on the scoreline, but 2-0 to Pilgrims on corners.
Yeah, nice bit of work from Sloggett there. He was lucky initially how it fell. I don't think he tried to bring it down with his instep, but then the pass with the outside of his boot down the left channel, very nice indeed. There was another little arm from Tonks on Sloggett as that Lovett ball came out, so one to keep an eye on there, the battle in midfield. And we mentioned 3 of the back 4 had been beaten in a little duel. Well, Mills was undone there as well, so that's all of them already come second best, trying to keep the ball in midfield. So
Sloggett right footed in, swinging corner, it's a header from Lancashire. It actually hit the face of Tommy Fogarty, and Boston has still got possession of the ball with Sloggett once again, delivers it into the box. This time no Boston player able to get contact on it. Hill heads it away, Milnes goes and fires it up into the air. Hill goes chasing after it out on this Tamworth left hand side. Boston trying to win it back. It was Alfie Bates getting himself into a little bit of trouble, but dealt with. Now back to Singh, the goalkeeper. His clearance though only finds the left foot of Carson, who's driving forward a long way out. Carson goes out to Donnelly on the left wing. He cuts inside on his right foot, just being blocked for the time being, and ran out of ideas really did Kieran Donnelly. And now Tamworth, 13 minutes in, 0-0, can come forward with possession as Hill comes into the challenge. It was a well won challenge, and now Boston have got an overload on this side if they want to use it. It's with Dylan Hill. Donnelly forward if they want to use him. Instead, Hill will deliver a cross in towards that far post, and Boston United have made a strong start to this game. Third corner for them, and opportunities starting to arise as well. It is 0-0.
Down both flanks, winning the ball back in the Tamworth half, and then had a bit of a penetrative edge down both sides, left and right. It was Carson and Donnelly, and then Hill on this right hand side set free, and the second of those breaks through has forced the game's third corner, the first from what is the near side to us, the Pilgrims attacking right. And we've seen Carson have a go from the far side. We had Sloggett with the in-swinger, and now we're going to have Carson, but one man Carson won't be able to pick out is Tommy Fogarty.
Yeah, now I think this is from the last corner, so Lancashire made a real good contact on the header, and it just hit Tommy Fogarty flush in the face, and that's leading to Fogarty needing a little bit of treatment here, and the referee is saying to him, well, you've still got to go off the pitch, which again it's a disadvantage for Tommy Fogarty. He's done nothing wrong. It was a genuine injury, but Boston are the side that do have the disadvantage. Tamworth making the most of that by putting 2 players out of the area and forward, so Boston having to bring 3 back, so it does only leave 5 Pilgrims players in the area. Mills, Lancashire, Sloggett, Donnelly and Huwula, as Carson delivers this corner in. It's towards that far post. Huwula was lurking, but Tamworth are able to go and get it away. Milnes with a big boot forward. Waldock needs to get something on it and does. Sloggett just tries to hook it forward for Carson from a long way out. Well, he was dreaming of finding the top corner. He's found the left-hand corner as the offside flag's gone up against Geordie Huwula, who just produced a world-class touch to take that out of the sky. 0-0.
I like the idea from Carson, but the execution not quite there. It would have been goal of the season stuff. You could just imagine it hitting sort of post bar, rattling in a volley out the sky, but no, out into touch instead. And then just to compound the Pilgrims' misery, Huwula was in an offside position when it all started.
Mills flicks it forward. Fogarty is back on the pitch as the long ball forward once again from Tamworth. Lovett's come off his line and it would have been offside anyway. Anoru, linesman flagging. In the Premier League, goalless between Manchester United and Brighton, as it is here, 16 minutes in. I remember when last time I came here a couple of years ago, it was one of the name storms and all the advertising hoardings had all broke behind the goal to our right. There's just a fabric one to our left which needs reattaching, but again, it's a tough place to come to, Tamworth. Always hard as Carson collides with his man and ends up on the ground. Carson stays down. Boston are saying it's a head injury here. Carson's still down. Tamworth have put the ball out of play, but the referee had no intention of stopping that.
No, which is quite concerning. And we saw Donnelly as well when the ball was then recycled forward. Got a big shove from Fairlamb, challenging for the header. Referee again not interested. So clearly the referee's threshold tonight for these aerial challenges is quite high, and the Pilgrims therefore are going to have to stand up to it because they're not going to be rewarded with decisions in midfield. And yet again, work for the Boston medical staff to do. We're only 17 minutes into this game and they've been on what, 3-4 times already?
3 times. Sloggett had a head injury, Fogarty with the knock to the face, and now Matty Carson is down as well. Boston players currently warming up. The good thing for Graham Coughlin is this little break after tonight's game for 10 days or so will hopefully allow especially Jordan Richards and Frankie Maguire back, if not Connor Teal as well. So the injury list will hopefully be a lot less than it is currently. I think Carson's got a real blow to the ribs, wasn't he? He's almost been winded by the looks of it, rather than a head injury. He's just back on his feet now. And
in the end, to give Donker credit, he did actually stop playing as well and tried to get the referee over. So he was in a bit of discomfort, Carson, but again, frustratingly, the Pilgrims didn't get the decision on the 2 chances they felt they maybe should have done, and Donnelly's holding the ball, trying to claim he's got to throw in down this attacking right. I'm not so sure. I think Greg Sloggett is trying to tell Kieran Donnelly to do a foul throw here, just to waste a little bit more time to get Carson back on the pitch. So I've never seen a player try and do a foul throw, but this could be an interesting attempt from Kieran Donnelly. I was hoping he might jump in the air, keep both those heels nice and high, but he throws it back to Singh in the goal. So 0-0, 18 minutes in, as Singh with the big left boot flying long. Fogarty goes up to win the header, does well against Duku. Matty Carson would have been there, but he's currently stricken on the sidelines and able to come on for another 10 seconds or so, as Tamworth have possession out on the right wing, played forward again, this time headed away by Alex Lancashire. Huwula back defending. Sloggett clears it long. Surely that has been 30 seconds now. Donnelly chasing after it. Hollis has to get there. Donnelly nearly nipping in behind. Lancashire just loses where it was for the first moment. Sloggett goes into the challenge with Tonks, and then Carson back on the pitch wins Boston United a throw, but they're standing up to the task so far, Boston United. That was the biggest question mark for me heading into today, is would they do that? Yeah, and a little one back for Greg Sloggett there as well. We said he'd been chewed up a little bit by Tonks early on in the air, but he got in ahead of him there in midfield, and that is going to be a key battle today. I think Tamworth are trying to play the ball through midfield, and Boston, they've got battlers in there and a bit of craft with Carson as well. They've got to try and establish a dominance in there and then see if Tamworth revert to playing it over the top. Lovely play from Donnelly, finds Waldock out to the right now for Lavinier, the right back. We know he's got a good attacking threat. He takes it in his stride, got Hill just behind him, but Lavinier's wriggled away from his man, looks to get the cross in low. It's a decent ball in. Donnelly with the effort, top left corner. Boston United
take the lead as a somersault for Donnelly.
Bit of quality from Kieran Donnelly there. Took a touch, crafted a bit of space and picked this spot. Top left corner, Jazz Singh no chance. The Pilgrims have grown after a shaky first couple of minutes. They've had 2 or 3 corners and they've not just landed on them, but from open play there, a bit of work from Lavinia down the right hand side, and then Kieran Donnelly, Fox in the box, 1-0 to the Pilgrims.
I spoke with him the other week about learning his trade as a striker. Only his second season playing as a forward, having previously been a right back, but you can see why he was converted to a forward with finishes like that. And credit to the man who is playing right back today, Marcel Lavinia. He is having an impact in the sense that Jordan Cropper, who's currently out with the ACL injury set to miss the rest of the season, isn't being as missed as we maybe thought he would be.
No, I think when Graham Cotton's been discussing his injury list and said we've got 8 players out, I think to be fair to things, clearly if Cropper hadn't got injured, we'd never have seen Lavinia, so that one was very quickly addressed. To find a free agent that's experienced at this level, available and in the right position, is a real coup, and Lavinia's looked really, really bright. He's looked quite sharp as well for a man that's not played much football this season so far.
So Donnelly's 7th of the season, just the 2nd in the league. He scored in the victory at Gateshead and has scored here to give Boston United a 1-0 lead at Tamworth, as Tamworth look to go forward down their left hand side, but Boston have the throw with Lavinia. 21 minutes in, the Boston fans jumping behind the goal to our left. Earlier on today, Lincoln losing at Leyton Orient. Reaction to that available now on BBC Sounds by searching for Lincoln City. In the FA Trophy, Gainsborough progressing, Spalding out. And in the league, heavy defeat for bottom of the table, Stamford at home to Barwell. Bourne drawing, Lincoln United losing at the league leaders in the East Division. It is a Pilgrims throw once again. Rob Mape's Christian James with you through until 8 this evening. And it will be the number 40, Marcel Lavinia, former Yeovil Town and Tottenham youngster, who goes long. There's not many players who have those 2 clubs on their CV in a career, is there?
No, unusual, isn't it? A rare first half goal for the Pilgrims, just the 3rd in 10 first halves, including today. In 2025, they've scored the first goal in 20 games and they've only lost 1 of them. That was at Solihull on Easter Monday.
Lavinia goes long down the right hand side. It's headed out by Alfie Bates for another Boston throw. They've had 3 throws now down this right side in a matter of moments, and they've now worked their way a good 30 yards closer to the goal of Jazz Singh, who could only watch on as Donnelly's effort went flying past him. Hill heads it, looping header forward. Hiwula goes up to try and win it. Panic clearance from Tamworth. It's Hill who has it, goes to deliver the ball into the box, and that is a comfortable gather for Singh. But Boston United loading that penalty area at every opportunity. Well, at that time there was a good 3 or 4 players, wasn't there, in and around the 18-yard box.
And I can't imagine there are many teams that come to Tamworth and deliver crosses into the box at every opportunity, and that's clearly the Pilgrims' plan tonight. Load the box and deliver crosses, and maybe an element of take Tamworth on at their own game. And it was a low cross that created the first goal, but they have crafted 2 or 3 corners from similar efforts, and they've just got to be mindful at the other end. Tamworth still pose that threat. We know they always do. They're throwing on the halfway line. Probably 23 other grounds in this league isn't too much to worry about, but Boston have got 10 in their own penalty area.
So Tonks delivers this long throw from the right hand side. This time it does reach the box. Sloggett's gone down, and Boston United do have a free kick. And interestingly, that time Kieran Donnelly was left further forward as an option for an out ball. It's not often I make notes on how many long throws each side have, but I certainly have for Tamworth so far to see how many Boston will have to deal with. That's up to 3, but Boston with 3 corners so far to Tamworth's 0. And most importantly, halfway through this first half, Kieran Donnelly's goal for Boston United, the difference as they lead here 1-0. Love it to take this free kick right on the edge of his penalty area towards Donnelly up against Digi. Does really well to leap up and win the header, and then Hiwula's pass was not the best. Hill went chasing after it. It's going to be with Fairlamb now, the left back. Hill comes across, does really well. Good work from the Boston number 8 to win that. And it'll be a throw for Fairlamb to take. Some strength on the Tamworth bench, the likes of Ponticelli or Ronan Mayer. Good options for Kettering as they for Kettering for Tamworth. Kettering colours, isn't it? The
very
kit.
much so. A friend of mine will be delighted we've got a Kettering mention in again this evening. 4 loanees on the Tamworth bench tonight.
That's surely a handball against Hayden Hollis. He almost gathered that up nicely, and Boston not able to get the 50-50 in with Carson. It's back to Fairlam on the halfway line, cuts inside, finds Bates, the number 6, and then back to Digi at centre half. Plays it out to the right hand side. Good play from Tamworth. The right back's just been clattered, but it's the home side coming forward. He's got back on his feet as Doncourt gets the cross into the box. Header from Lavigne at the far post gets it away. It's not the best of clearances from Carson. He'll have to go chasing after that. Out on the right once again for the home side, looking for a leveller here. Cross into the box. This time Mills with the big header away, and Ben Milnes will see that one out, and it will be another long throw for Tonks to chuck into the box as Manchester United have taken the lead at home against Brighton. Teus Cunha scoring there. Kieran Donnelly for Boston United here, giving them a lead.
It's like strictly against the X Factor back in the day, isn't it? Tamworth Boston or Man United Brighton tonight on the television. Thankfully both of those crosses, it went near post when everyone was far, and then vice versa for Tamworth. So 2 unchallenged headers for the Pilgrims to deal with. Now this long throw again. So
Twyke at the ball into the box from Tonks,
and it's too long.
Way too long this time, and that goes out of play for a goal kick. Again, it just shows the flags once again are moving in the wind, and it appears the wind is in Tamworth's favour in this first half, which I don't know when you've got a long throw, whether that's a positive really, isn't it? Because the fact you always get to allow that one, you get too much on it, can't you?
It puts it onto the goalkeeper, doesn't it? It puts the onus on the goalkeeper, whereas second half throwing into it, it's going to be a do I stay or do I go for Reece Lovett. Just spotted Fogarty has ended up with a blank shirt. I don't think it was immediately when he went off, but he's clearly needed a bit more attention. And just as the Pilgrims were preparing to take this goal kick, Matty Carson's gone down. He was certainly the culprit from that coming together in midfield, and he's maybe belatedly feeling the effects.
Yeah,
more work for GMR.
Boston not with many options on the bench, especially in that midfield area. Bengrist is a centre half, Michael Kelly's a left back, Rocco Coyle is naturally a central midfielder but has played a lot at full back. Harry French sub goalkeeper, Manny Norkett a striker, and Finley Ging a centre half. So they will not want to lose Matty Carson here, but again it's just that left rib cage area that Jumar the physio is having a feel of. Boston will just want to get through a game without losing another player to injury. I'm just having a look. The Boston players currently down that touchline doing their warm-ups.
Problem is as well, if he is able to carry on, he's kind of shown he's still suffering now, and you don't want to stereotype kind of coming here and getting beat up a little bit, but if you just show that you're struggling in that ribcage area, every corner, every goal kick even, you're going to get a little bit of attention in there. If it is that he carries on, he's going to be in for a rough hour trying to carry it. If not, as you say, where do the Pilgrims turn? The natural left-sider is Michael Kelly, but we discussed pre-game, and I think anyone that was at the game on Tuesday night will feel that Kelly didn't necessarily earn an hour's football today with his performance on Tuesday night. I don't think you'd reshuffle anything in the back line unless Rocco Cole's trusted, and you just play a little bit lopsided. It looks as though Carson is going to try and carry on, but as I say, especially here, it's going to be a tough one to carry a bruised rib or a bit of trouble in there.
Yeah, he's back on his feet again, just stretching. He's got his hands behind his head.
And we should probably remember that if they had 4 or 5 on at the end of this first half.
Yeah, we get really annoyed that it's
exactly
so long. It's going to be played long by Lovett, headed not won by Sloggett in the midfield. Mills comes across to win the challenge, and then it's out of play from Lancashire. Carson,
it's going to be booked.
It's going to be booked by getting involved. I mean, the ball landed at his feet. He did stop the play, but Carson, well, getting a booking while off the pitch. And it's going to be another long throw for Tonks, is it? No, they're going to leave it this time for Doncourt, the right back, to get in and play it forward. Carson is now allowed back on.
He's probably wasted enough time in receiving that booking to get back on the pitch.
The footlights all on now around the ground. As the throw comes in, Lancashire wins the header. Hawula clears it long. Donnelly goes chasing after it. He's got his body in the way. Doesn't win the second ball though, and it's in the midfield area now for Tamworth with Doncourt. Sloggett went chasing after it. Carson gets it, looks to play it down the left wing for Donnelly, who just heads it inside. And Digi can go back to his goalkeeper, Jazz Singh. Little clip ball out for Fairlam, and Hiwula's come across and has won it for Boston. And then tries to, well, I'm not sure what he tried to do there.
It just needed knocking down the wing for Hill, who got in behind, but rolled his foot over it, deliberately or otherwise, and then, yeah, something very ambitious that didn't come off.
Because Tamworth on board is very ambitious as well, and that will roll out of play for a goal kick here. So Boston leading by a goal to nil. Kieran Donnelly's strike the difference, 20 minutes in. And when you look at Tamworth in terms of their home form, they don't lose many here, but recent draws here against Morecambe, against Wealdstone and against Brackley, all 1-1.
Just the 6th they've conceded in what is the 8th home game here this season. Feather in the Pilgrims' cap. They'll hope they can keep a red clean sheet and not need to add to that.
Yeah, Boston seem to be good at scoring against teams who don't concede many goals. They did against Hartlepool as well, who had a brilliant record at that time, as Lavinia drives forward into the box. Yeah, Southend, another one, wasn't it, where it was a good home record which they were able to deal with. Sloggett plays it forward for Hiwula, looks to lay it off again. It's just not the right ball from Geordie Hiwula, but Donnelly putting Fairlam under a bit of pressure means it's now a 4th corner of the afternoon for Boston United. And once again, they're going to get the big men forward from the back.
Yeah, Boston are landing on those second balls, aren't they? Sort of 30, 40 yards from goal. And with odd exception, and we saw one with Hiwula on this near side 2 or 3 minutes ago, they have been able to then find that pass when they've won the ball back to create a bit of problems. And yet again, Tamworth forced to concede the corner. We're going to try Carson from this side, so another in-swinger. A bit more of a conventional setup this time. We've got 5 queued up on the edge of the box. Just 1 man left in an attacking position for the hosts.
So Carson delivers this in-swinger in towards that near post. Oh, Donnelly. Well, I think he just lost his bearings of where he was. It was a free header in the end. The Tamworth man was down on the ground. I think it was it Ducko, I think, who was back defending there. And Donnelly spun on it. And, well, we are going to see a Boston change here. And unfortunately for the Pilgrims, Matty Carson is at the end of his afternoon, and it's going to be Rocco Coyle who will come on. Carson just having to make his way off behind Jazz Singh's goal. And so an early blow for Boston, but Coyle, the Hull City loanee, coming on. 31 and a half minutes played. It is the Pilgrims leading here through Kieran Donnelly's brilliant strike into the top left corner.
Maybe should have been 2 there. There was no foul given on Ducko. Ducko ended up on the floor. Tamworth expecting the free kick, it didn't come, and Donnelly kind of trying to flick it with the back of his head, just put it the wrong side of the post. Carson leaves after an eventful 33 minutes in which he's twice been needing attention for a rib injury, and probably should have created the game's 2nd goal there.
Oh, as Hiwula's taken out there, that was a hefty challenge from Hollis, and that will be a Boston United free kick. Hollis is really unhappy that decision was given against him, but it was off the ground, and Hiwula just got his toe in the way and got the full force of Hayden Hollis's frame.
I think I'd like to have seen a booking there, but we're not going to get one. The magic sprays let the referee down as well. But Hiwula clearly, judging by the referee's decision, the linesman's on this side as well, both happy that Hiwula got there first. Good work again from the Pilgrims, getting a foot in there ahead of their opposition about 30 yards from goal, and this time, for the first time today, it's led to a free kick being given for United where they can deliver into the box. It's going to be Sloggett with that kind of outswinger, right footer from the right hand side. Can the Pilgrims, having just had a fantastic opportunity to double their lead, manage it here?
12 minutes to go until half time. Waldock coming across as an option. Hiwula makes the run short. It's played into Hiwula. Oh, it's a lazy ball forward, but Sloggett blocks the clearance. Lancashire heads it back into the box. Donnelly fighting for it. Cleared up into the air by Tonks, who goes and chases after his own clearance and wins the header. Waldock plays it high up into the air. It just goes high rather than any distance. Sloggett can't quite win the header. Waldock does. Hiwula tries to get there, lays it down for Sloggett, driving forward, left-footed shot, falls for Hiwula, slips as he takes the effort, and it's catch in practice for Jazz Singh. Remains 1-0.
Yeah, a little bit scruffy on a couple of occasions from Hiwula there, but the Pilgrims again able to regain possession, have 2, 3, 4 opportunities at creating something, and we're not quite there yet, but we're getting into the realms of saying the Pilgrims need to double their advantage while they're on top, because they are going to come under significant pressure at some point. But for the last 20 minutes or so, they've been the better side, either side of that opening goal.
Lavinia at the second attempt able to play it forward, but only to Fairlam on the left-hand side. He goes to ground, and referee says it was a foul from Dylan Hill as Manchester United have doubled their lead at home to Brighton. Casemiro now scoring for the home team. Here it's Kieran Donnelly. Not an exotic sounding name, but it was a brilliant goal nonetheless. That would have been gracing match of the day.
Fantastic finish. I think unfortunately the cameras on the other side of the pitch aren't quite going to get the angle we had. We really did pick his spot through a little channel into the top left.
So Tamworth with this free kick, Milnes plays it into the box. It goes over the head of absolutely everybody and will run out of play for a goal kick once again. And what Boston United will be pleased with is, and I'm sure Graham Coughlin will be as we have 10 minutes to go until the break, Christian, is that apart from that opening 2 or 3 minutes, Reece Lovett has not been bombarded. Not at all.
The kind of time it's taking Tamworth to create those opportunities to load the box, be it from a set piece or a throw in, that gap is getting more and more spread out. It was every 2 or 3 minutes in the first 10. It became kind of every 5 or 10, and now it feels a good 10 minutes ago since Tonks had one of his long throws, and the Pilgrims there able to see that one out harmlessly over the byline, just as they did the last of those long throws as well.
Hiwula goes back, played long by Coyle, cleared away by Digi. Sloggett heads it back, but it's going to be played forward long again. Lavinia, brilliant chest control, judged that to perfection. Now plays it forward down the right for Dylan Hill. He's got Donnelly in front of him, plays the pass low along the ground for Donnelly, just spins past Hollis, who feels he got the ball. Donnelly again not too happy with that decision. Tamworth come away with possession. They go across to the right back in Donker, just on towards the halfway line. Coyle stopping the run of Donkor and adjudged to have done so unfairly, so will be a Tamworth free kick on the halfway line. But Boston have looked lively in the attacking third.
Yeah, good work from the Pilgrims again there. They keep creating these little openings, and something is going to fall for them, as we saw it do with that bit of quality down the right hand side from Lavinia for the goal. So at the minute you just feel that that period in the game will come for Tamworth, and 1-0 ever so fragile here at the Lamb. If the Pilgrims can, especially if they can before half time, it'd be fantastic to them just get that second goal and give themselves a little bit of leeway.
Long ball into the box, headed away by Lavinia. Tonks gets it, plays it out to Donkor on the right hand side. Back now for Milnes, but it's a misjudged pass. But here come Tamworth with Fairlam. Boston not putting any pressure on that Tamworth midfield at the moment. Milnes to the right to Donkor. Back to Milnes on the halfway line. Still Tamworth with the big men forward. Fairlam has it. Looks to play it behind the Boston defence. Fogarty got a bit of luck stepping on the ball, but then came away with it. Cleared long. Not the best of balls forward. Lavinia heads it away. Now for Dylan Hill. Just rides the challenge of his man and gets Boston United a free kick.
Yeah, good refereeing. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but as Tamworth were trying to recycle, Marcel Lavinia was the furthest man forward for United, alongside Hiruda there, trying to press the back line into a mistake. The Pilgrims completely shuffled all over the pitch, and in the end it was Fogarty in the right back position. Very fortunate that Tonks followed him and not the ball. As it is, the Pilgrims again first to the challenge in midfield, and they can try and deliver. It's not quite going to get into the box, this one, is it? But certainly into that final third, and Tamworth leaving just 2 up. Can United find that second?
The ladies in front of you are not happy at all with Boston's time wasting, as the ball from Sloggett is played into the penalty area. Lancashire heads it towards goal, but in for Singh. Fogarty had gone forward. It's a quick kick forward from Singh. Lavinia heads it away. Second ball won by Tamworth on the halfway line. Warlock goes down under a challenge. Now Tonks tries to get there. Dylan Hill nearly find the ball through for Hiwula, but instead it's going to be Fairlam for the home side. Boston leading here by 1-0. Kieran Donnelly's 20th minute strike the difference, but it's the home side who just having a little bit more of the possession as we edge towards the break. It's back with Digi on the halfway line. Hiwula blocking the pass to his left, so Digi goes for the ball down his right and finds Donkor, and now lovely little spin forward in fact from the number 10 Inoru, but Boston able to stop him. Coyle, one of those who was there. Now Lancashire goes long, can't find Hiwula, headed away by Digi, headed back forward by Rocco Coyle. And certainly what's been surprising, especially Kennedy Digi, who's towered over Kieran Donnelly. He struggled though to win the ball. in the hair.
And we saw Donnelly shrug off Ducky from that corner as well. So, defying the height advantage that Tamworth have got this evening. The Pilgrims in the press, particularly Hawula's, really impressed me today out of possession. I think that's as busy and as fit as he's looked in the press, and it's just not giving Tamworth that time to create from the back.
Another long ball forward by Boston. Digi this time does win the header up against Donnelly, who can't quite block the clearance forward. It's into Manny Ducker, who goes down and gets a free kick, foul by Rocco Coyle, the first half substitute for Matty Carson, who's got a rib injury by the looks of it, suffered early on in the game. And it will be a Tamworth free kick, and again they're going to take everybody from their half of the pitch and move it into Boston's half, apart from the goalkeeper Singh, who will take this.
And if we could be a little brave, we might suggest that some of these restarts from Tamworth are taking rather a long time as well.
Into the edge of the penalty area, Sloggett heads it away. Waldock and Hill between them trying to get it further clear. Tonks, forward ball. Lancashire doesn't quite get the clearance away, and it's out to the left-hand side now for the home side. Back to Tonks, delivers the cross into the box, headed away this time by Greg Sloggett. Still with the home team though, they've got an overload on the attacking right, which they look to use. Boston getting players across as the looping ball goes in towards the Boston far post. Lavinier out there gets enough on it just to prevent, I think it was it Fairlamp potentially? Or was it Moles, I think, wasn't it? Moles, the man who tried to get there. He's just swapped wings with Beckray and Noru.
Third time we've seen Marcel Lavinia win the ball in and around the 6-yard box. His goalkeeper's nowhere to be seen there. Lavinia did ever so well to prevent an equaliser.
Ball with Coyle up into the air once again. Hawula is offside as well. For a second there, Jazz Singh was 12 yards off his line, and I think Donnelly's eyes lit up, but the offside flag had gone up as the clearance forward again headed away comfortably by Boston United and Lancashire. That's been a real success story in their game so far today. It's been very different from the kind of defending we saw on Tuesday night at the Jatemans, as the home side come across to the left this time. Fairlamb driving inside. Again, Lavinier gets his body in the right position, is able to clear it away and then goes inside, and he's in a little bit of trouble here as Tonks pushes him in the back. Boston lead 1-0. Kieran Donnelly's goal the difference, and Tonks is going to enter the book.
Yeah, real angry response from Tonks to that decision, letting his frustrations get the better of him. It was Tonks in the first 10 to 15 minutes that was winning the battle in midfield. Twice had Sloggett needing attention and delivering those long throws. He's been quietened as this half's gone on, and the Pilgrims just wrestled an ascendancy in this game. They're frustrating the home crowd, they're frustrating the home team. Can they craft this opportunity for the second? The Tamworth players have been influent at times. There's been a few unforced errors, incomplete passes, and a bit of scrappy play in the defensive area. You'd assume after half time they will pick it up a gear. Can the Pilgrims continue as they have done so far and stand up to it?
So Boston leading here 1-0. Lincoln City post-match reaction on the way at half time, but you can also get it on BBC Sounds whenever you like by searching for Lincoln City. Sloggett plays it for Rocco Coyle. Bit of space for Coyle to go forward into. Never looked comfortable though. Has to go back for Lancashire. Coyle an option on the left, but Lancashire's trying to get forward himself. Waldock blocks the clearance. Tries to win Boston a corner, and does win Boston United a corner.
I can't believe we're quite saying it after the first 10 minutes, but that consistency from the referee, not giving those ones that you would perhaps expect to see, those battles, a bit of aggression, and that's suiting Boston. It's suiting the Pilgrims. They've reflected on that first 5 or 10 minutes when they weren't getting those decisions 30 yards from goal, and they're giving as good as they've got. And in this occasion, through Liam Waldock this time, it's resulted in another corner. It's going to be an in-swinger from the right side from Greg Sloggett.
Second Boston goal and get a second here. 90 seconds to go until the 45 is up. Sloggett this time low into the near post. Lancashire into the side netting, and Boston have another corner.
Difficult to see from here whether that's the right decision or not. Tamworth clearly don't think so, but nice bit of work from Boston. It was clearly the plan. I initially thought, oh, that's mishit and a bit of a shame, and we'll go at half time at 1-0, but no, the runners had all gone near post, and one off the training ground for United. Not quite able to create the game's second goal. And now they're going to load the box.
They're going to crowd that near post. The referee is joining the crowd there. We're about to see as well how many minutes of added time there's going to be. I would imagine 4 or 5 will be added on. as referee will keep an eye on that near post. Boston with their 6th corner of the evening. They lead 1-0 through Kieran Donnelly's 20th minute opener, and a second here right before half time would really please Graham Coughlin and those Boston United fans behind the goal to our left, looking a long way right down the centre of the pitch at this corner. As Boston man falls on the floor, Kieran Donnelly was the man on the floor there as the corner looks set to come in. Boston players break. The corner does come in, headed away comfortably by Tamworth. Hill needs to just prevent them getting forward. Him and Waldock, brilliant work from both of them to stop Tamworth, and then Donnelly into the challenge. Referee says it was an unfair challenge and it will be a Tamworth free kick, and I didn't quite catch what the board said, Christian.
No, I'm afraid I missed that as well. I think we'd assumed 3 or 4, and maybe Craig's going to help us out, or the announcer.
5 minutes.
Yeah. I think 4 or 5 is probably about right. We've had at least 4 stoppages for injuries in this first half, and the Pilgrims have been a little steady with the restart since taking the lead.
Ball headed back into the edge of the penalty area from Bates for Tamworth. Now out to the left to Hiwula. Just Donnelly up forward with him. Hiwula tries to go past Bates, who will look to get it back to his goalkeeper, and they're able to do so. Tamworth. Singh left-footed, clears long. Free header for Hill to head forward. No Boston players able there to get on the second ball after Hiwula was still backtracking from chasing down the goalkeeper.
A 40-yard sprint from Hiwula, not so quick coming back, unfortunately, and United have ended up giving away a throw I don't think is quite in Tonk's territory.
No, that's on the halfway line, right in front of the 4th official, so minute of the 5 added on has been played already. And it's going to be Donkor, the right back, who throws it forward down that right hand side. Tamworth fans want a free kick, nothing given. Hiwula wins the header against Hollis. Now back with Fairlamb. Donnelly just chasing, stopping Fairlamb having an easy ball forward. Back to him from Stefan Moles. And now all the way back to the goalkeeper in Jazz Singh, who will look up and deliver a long ball forward towards Duku. But again, it's Boston who win the header this time with Mills. Hiwula holds on to it. Now Waldock looks to set Donnelly chasing, but it wasn't the best of balls out towards the side. But Donnelly's dispossessed Donkor and plays it into the box. Kieran Donnelly just not able to get a shot in the end. It was good defending, making up for the error, Donkor, to get back at Donnelly, and just not the call there. And I think Kieran Donnelly is in need of the half-time breather because he's worked hard.
Yeah, they'd probably heard Donkor breathing down his neck, just begging for a clip of the heels or a touch of the calf. It wasn't there. Nothing for Donnelly to go down on, and as you say, not quite got the fuel in the engine to keep driving forward. Pilgrims probably getting towards that part of these 5 minutes where they start to think 1-0 at half time is a good position to take.
So, long throw from Boston this time from Lavigne. Fires it back forward, and that should be one that Singh can come and gather. Donnelly put him under a little bit of pressure. And again, the Tamworth goalkeeper, a bit like Rhys Lovett, not had much to do in this game. It's not been a game full of chances.
No hope with the goal. Not been required to come for any of the corners the Pilgrims have delivered. They've tended to be more towards the penalty spot.
As Lavigne fouls Moles, and it will be a Tamworth free kick. Both players are down on the ground, and I think Marcel Lavigne here is going to be the 3rd player to enter the referee's notebook this evening.
Sort of a thigh-high ball bouncing. Both of them went with feet, and Lavigne is going to receive a yellow card for his trouble. Good area here for Tamworth to deliver into the box for the first time with a free kick instead of a throw. The chance to make Lovett think, is it a cross or is it a shot?
I think that's one of the disadvantages, isn't it, of the artificial surface, judging that bounce.
Yeah.
You notice it, the difference in the bounce compared to a normal. After 5 minutes, you know how a grass pitch is going to play in terms of, is it hard or is it soft, is it going to bounce, is it not going to bounce, whereas here it's hard to judge really every time.
Yeah, and you don't want that split second of indecision or hesitation, and there it was just a split second that let Lavigne down, but it's given Tamworth the chance to try and create something from a very promising position on the attacking left, and it's got Lavigne in the book as well. He's been one of the Pilgrims' best performers of this first half.
So, free kick for Tamworth on the left-hand side, just left of the penalty area, about 20 yards out. Tonks has just lost his shin pad for a second. Runs over the ball. Low ball in. Dealt with by the Pilgrims and Kieran Donnelly. Headed back towards the edge of the penalty area. Boston trying to get players there. Coyle this time clears it away. Hill going chasing after it. It's with Fairlam on the left-hand side. Hill comes across, gets the challenge in, but it will be a long throw. Last 20 seconds of this first half. Boston just switched off momentarily though. The throw down the left-hand side and Mills clears just in front of his goalkeeper. Back into the box this time. Lancashire gets his head on it. He's been clattered. It will be a Boston United free kick, and that should take us through to half-time.
Another ball the Pilgrims had to clear out the 6-yard box, but another one they've been more than equal to.
Well, there we go then, half-time here. It is Boston United leading at Tamworth by a goal to nil. Kieran Donnelly with the 20th minute strike. Lovely turn in the penalty area, just in front of the penalty spot, and putting it into the top left-hand corner for his 7th goal of the season. Reece Lovett hardly challenged in this first 45, and Christian, if we're talking about an almost perfect ideal away performance, that's been it so far.
Very positive. I worried in the first 10 minutes, especially with the referee letting a lot go, that Boston were going to be on the wrong end of the battle tonight, but they've stuck to it. They've raised themselves to the level set by the hosts and by the referee's decisions, and in the end it's been Tamworth, not the Pilgrims, complaining about a bit of physicality. I don't mind seeing that from United, standing up to the battle, and a bit of quality both in the creation and the finish of the goal is what they lead through.
And they've dealt with the aerial threat so well, not just on that first ball, but stopping it being recycled again and again and again. Yeah,
and they've got to give themselves a small pat on the back for that, but they've clearly got to replicate that for what's going to be another 45-50 minutes in this second half. It does just take one slip up to undo a good half of work, but for now, Lavinia, Mills in particular, winning all the key first contacts in that box. Lovett's only really had one to catch, and one he maybe should have done early on that he left. And yeah, United, you can never say comfortable here, you never want to go as far as to say assured, but certainly dominant in their defensive half.
So far so good then. If you're a Boston United fan, those supporters wrapped up nice and warm to our left hand side, or trying to stay warm in the chilly October evening air here in Tamworth. I'll have a smile on their face though, because at the break it is Tamworth 0, Boston United 1. We'll be back in around 15 minutes for second half commentary here from the Lamb, but to take you through what's been going on elsewhere today in Lincolnshire football, here's Callum.
Thank you, Rob. Yes, can Boston United bring home 3 points from the Midlands? We'll find out. Second half commentary coming your way in about 12 to 13 minutes or so. A couple of games in the evening kickoff, following on from Sunderland's late win against Chelsea and Newcastle United's late win against Fulham. Manchester United are 2 to the good against Brighton and Hove Albion. Mateus Cunha and a wicked deflection from a Casemiro strike gives the Red Devils 2-0 lead against Brighton at half time. That match still in action, as are Boston United, which, as we know, are 1-0 up at the break. Second half commentary on the way. I can tell you the other match that's taking place, England's Lionesses against Brazil in a friendly, so it doesn't mean anything, but it's not a winning start for the Imps after their Euros crown earlier on. They are 2-0 down to Brazil. That game at the Etihad Stadium at half time. We'll keep you up to date with both of them. It's BBC Radio Lincolnshire. Half time of the Boston United match. They're 1-0 up. We'll bring you reaction to Lincoln City and to Spalding after this.
The Forgotten Past. They get a letter back in Lincoln Cathedral, and he says, "You're lowly common people, and worst of all, you're from the most brute and beastly shire in the whole realm."
The Quirky.
The women's group said, "Would you contemplate being in a nude calendar?" And I said, "Why not?"
The Legends.
This is an evocative song, and we know some extraordinary things happened here. You know, if you believe in ghosts, it's hard to imagine this place wouldn't have them.
And the stories behind them.
We were doing it to challenge a prevailing norm.
Secret Lincolnshire. Listen now on BBC Sounds.
So a 1-0 defeat for Lincoln City earlier on, a match we brought you full commentary of here on BBC Radio Lincolnshire. For full reaction, including the thoughts of our match summariser Tony McHamilton, you can head over to BBC Sounds, just search for Lincoln City, that's where you'll find it. Hit subscribe whilst you're there and turn your notifications on. But let's hear from defender Tendai Darikwa, who's been speaking to Michael Horton.
Tendai, it's all about chances in football games, isn't it? And Lincoln didn't take them early on.
Exactly that. Thought we started the game well, had a big chance pretty early on in the game. So obviously hit the crossbar from Housey. We had a few more after that, but if you don't score goals then you don't win games, and we obviously conceded the goal in the second half, so it's disappointing.
It felt like in that sort of 15 minutes at the start you were creating plenty of problems with long throws and balls in the box, whether it was from George from deep, but creating problems for them.
Yeah, look, I think we've spoke all week about their defensive record, and they've conceded a lot of goals. We knew it, well, we thought it was an area we could hurt them, and unfortunately we couldn't do that today, so we'll obviously watch the clips back and see where we could have done better, but ultimately it's disappointing not to win the game.
As a team, you're used to not maybe having the lion's share of possession, but it felt today maybe the possession helped them get a little bit of a foothold in the game and get going.
I don't think it's about possession. I think it's what you do when you've got the ball. I thought we got into some good areas today, and we didn't hurt them enough. Like you said, we don't always have the ball week to week, but I thought today when we had the ball, we still got into some good areas. At the end of the day, we've got to take chances, and we didn't do it. And
towards the end, obviously, of the game, I think there was a bit of a resurgence from the young subs, obviously Collar as well, but the younger players coming on and giving a bit of impetus, and nearly got an opportunity.
Yeah, look, we've got depth in the squad now, and when the gaffer makes changes, you want people to come on the pitch and make an impact. We did that. We had a few efforts towards the end which got blocked by them. As I said, we'll move on now. We've got a massive game on Tuesday. It's going to be a massive occasion for us, and hopefully we can go and put this one right.
And that's the thing, isn't it? League One, you don't get a chance to either rest on your laurels or stew about a result. You have a pretty quick one coming around the corner.
Yeah, look, I think when you lose a game, I think it's better that you've got one a couple of days later. You don't want to go a full week waiting to put it right. So as I said, we'll recover now and get up the road on Tuesday, and hopefully we can leave with 3 points.
And full commentary of that match with Rob over in Bradford. Looking forward to that one. You've been having your say on social media. Glenn saying, yet again, typical for Lincoln City, seem to struggle against those teams that are struggling in the league. Very frustrating. Kev saying, 0 shots on target against the leakiest defence in the league, says it all. Quite how Draper starts ahead of Collins is baffling. He has to start v Bradford, surely. That's some of what you're saying over on Facebook and on social media. Just search for BBC Radio Lincolnshire Sport. That is where you will find us. You can have your say over there. For our other Lincolnshire sides, well, a mixed bag of results to say the least. Bourne Town rescuing a point against Coventry Sphinx, finishing 1-1 there. Lincoln United, though, another heavy defeat for them, 4-0 against Redcar Athletic in the 4th tier of non-league. Into the FA Trophy, where Gainsborough Trinity, they're through their incredible cup form. It beggars belief how they do this. They have beaten Redditch United 2-1, and it was defeat for Stamford as well. A 4-0 defeat for them against Barwell. But again, also bad for Spalding as well. They're also out of the FA Trophy. We can hear from Jimmy Dean speaking after that defeat.
Jimmy Dean, cup ties against sides from a level below can often be difficult games, and was that very much the case this afternoon?
Yeah, it wasn't a surprise. I knew it'd be a difficult game if we didn't get an early goal. For me, we did get an early goal. The referees chalked it off 10 seconds into celebrations. Only he knows why. But after that, we've had plenty of opportunity, really, to get a goal. We haven't took it, and I just wanted us to remain patient and keep doing the right things, which we did for the best part. But then we did get caught in possession there. It's poor from Curtis Thompson, really. And then after that, defending the set piece. Obviously, when you make substitutions, different players have different roles going onto the pitch, and we sent a message on, and I think we've ended up with Jordan Nicholson defending the back stick on a set piece, which the first contact wasn't the important one, but it was a knockdown that became important. You know, from our perspective, you know, you got a lot of players here who played in the league. You've still got, I think, Bart, Connor Johnson, Lewis White, Ben Blythe, you know, James Clifton. You got big boys on the pitch who can head the ball. Yeah, and it's a diabolical goal to concede, really. From that point, again, we've had 3 or 4 very good chances. You know, the keeper's had an outstanding game. But we couldn't get a goal, and look, we're out.
Yeah, Corby put a very strong back line up, 8-9 defenders back at times. And as you say, there were some great chances. Bart Saborski, who's been putting them away for fun recently, probably had the best.
Yeah, sorry, I thought you was going to continue. He did. I mean, there was lots of good chances in the game. I suppose if you're honest, that one in particular, the double chance where he hit the post and then, you know, he's hit the goalkeeper on the rebound. I picked that one as probably the biggest miss, but it was just a female game. And but I don't knock Corby at all for what they did. They come down here. You know, I don't think they'd argue. They've probably got. You know, they probably weren't coming here expecting to win, so they're set up to try and contain and maybe nick one on the break and let this work for them. You know, you can't blame them. Gary Sexwell's done a great job of doing it, but from our perspective, it's frustrating. We have to make sure the FA Trophy in that game doesn't define our season the same as the FA Cup and South Shields. You know, we bounced back from that. It didn't define our season. Got a really tough week next week. We just got to make sure we're ready for it.
Jimmy Dean speaking after defeat in the FA Trophy for Spalding earlier on today. Well, let's run through the National League scores from earlier. Halifax Town 1-1 against York City. It finished goalless between Braintree Town and Altrincham. Eastleigh beating Morecambe 2-1. Forest Green Rovers back to winning ways after 4 without a win, beating Boreham Wood 2-1. Gateshead 2-2 against Truro City. Hartlepool United, they're bouncing back, beating Solihull Moors 2-0. Scunthorpe United, a 2-1 win for them, coming from behind against Aldershot Town. Southend United, 2 late goals for them, beat Brackley Town 2-0. Wealdstone against Sutton United in the biggest scoring game in the division so far, we should say. Never know what might happen in the second half of Tamworth against Boston United. They beat Sutton United 4-2. It finished goalless between Woking and Rochdale, and 1 apiece between Yeovil and Carlisle. All that means for the National League table is, despite all the conversation that we have around Boston United and how they go missing in some games and show up in other games, they're exactly in the middle of the table. 14th place, 7 points clear of the drop zone as it stands, but 7 points away from the playoff places as it stands. So as middle of the table really as you could ask for. The bottom 4 at the minute. Sutton United bottom with just 9 points from 16 games. Morecambe sit 23rd. They've only played 15 games on 11 points. Truro 22nd, Braintree 21st. Just above is Aldershot and Altrincham. Between Boston and Altrincham, you've got Solihull Moors in 18th, Brackley 17th, Woking 16th, and Gateshead 15th. The top of the table looks like this. It's really Rochdale's to lose at this point. They've played 14, 34 points. They're clear of Scunthorpe United by a point. But Scunthorpe United and every other team in the division, I should say, or most teams in the division, having played 2 more games than Rochdale. So Rochdale could have a 7-point lead should they win their games in hand. The rest of the playoff places are as followed. Carlisle United in 3rd, Boreham Wood in 4th, Forest Green Rovers, as I say, picking up their first win after 2 draws in their last 4, are 5th, Southend 6th, York City 7th, and then you've got Halifax, Tamworth, Hartlepool, Wealdstone, Eastleigh, then Yeovil before Boston United. As I say, in 14th place. Will we see a happy Graham Coughlin in 45 minutes' time? Second half commentary of Boston United is coming up soon.
It's about to get a whole lot scarier. I'm Danny Robbins, and every day this month I will be sharing uncanny listeners, real-life ghost stories as we count down to the spookiest time of the year. An eerie starter of paranormal terror before the main course of a brand new season of Uncanny launching on Halloween itself. The Uncanny Halloween Countdown, every day on BBC Sounds.
Halloween not so far away. Well, will it be a spooky night for Boston United? We'll find out. Second half commentary of Boston United at Tamworth coming up next.
Yeah, you join us just as we are finishing off the chips here at Tamworth, as Boston United players back out onto the pitch. The Pilgrims leading by a 0-0 here. Kieran Donnelly's goal, the difference at the break, and Christian James alongside myself from Makepeace. Just same again, isn't it, really, for Boston?
Yeah, keep it going. I think it's so important for the Pilgrims to stick with that defensive vigour they've showed in the first half. They've been first to all the balls delivered into their 6-yard box in particular. Lavinia on 3 occasions, and latterly in the half, Zach Mills able to make telling contributions in there. Clearly it only takes one of those to go wrong and the Pilgrims will be back where they started, but the game is advanced now, 45 minutes in, and the 45 minutes in which the Pilgrims have shown they're up to the battle. They've stood up to Tamworth against a referee that's been quite laissez-faire. United have raised themselves, they've matched that, and they've ended the half with Tamworth complaining at their physicality, which is a sentence I think we'd have all been surprised to hear an hour or so ago. For United, as you say, more of the same. We start the second half with Tom Tonks complaining to the referee and Zach Mills pleading his Pilgrims case as a hush descends around us. Tamworth, a frustrated home crowd. I heard one gentleman a couple of rows in front of us say at half time, they've beaten us at our own game, and I think that perfectly sums up what I've just spent 3 minutes saying. United have raised themselves to the challenge tonight. Can they complete that for another 45 and take home a very valuable point or 3?
That would be very nice, as the game is back underway then for the second half. Boston attacking the end with their supporters in. We'll get the attendance in a moment or two, because Tamworth are having an early run forward, and it's Tonks into the penalty area. Sloggett comes across just to block it, still not properly cleared, and it finally is, and we will have the first corner for Tamworth this evening straight away at the start of the second half.
Well, the Pilgrims' worst couple of minutes in the first half were the first couple of minutes, and hopefully that can be repeated here, because United just switched off. Lancashire dropped, everyone else stood trying to land an offside line, and in the end Sloggett was the man that helped him out. It was 2-on-3, and United's skipper, when Zach Mills is missing, leading the line at the back there at the expense of, just for now, a corner. But as you say, the first chance for Tamworth to try something. They have got the height advantage in there, and 3 real targets all lined up on the penalty spot.
Yeah, they're all holding on to one another, so no Boston defenders are able to get in between Duku, Digi and Hollis. So corner from the left, right-footed in swinger, bouncing around in the box, still not properly cleared, is this time though by Rocco Coyle. No Boston players back on the attacking end of the pitch, so it's played straight back in by Fairlamp. Cross into the box, still not properly cleared by Boston, edge of the penalty area. Fogarty stoops low to head it away. Waldock can't get it clear. Lavinia can't get it clear. Shot's going to come in from Hollis, and that is catch in practice for Lovett, and it remains Boston leading here by a 0-0.
Yeah, good effort from Hollis. The centre half stayed up the pitch because, as you said, United had nobody forward, so it let the targets just stay up the end of the pitch. A turn and volley on the edge of the box, straight down Lovett's throat. But positive signs for the home crowd, and that is an arm straight across the Pilgrims man there.
Kieran Donnelly is down, and Hayden Hollis is into the book.
But just a yellow, and you may know better than me, Rob, but where in the laws of the game is there space for an arm across the face to be a booking?
There was no, I think straight away you knew it wasn't going to be a red card, because there was no rush from the ref, was there? It was a very methodical way of going across and giving the free kick and giving the yellow card, but it does put Hollis on a yellow along with Tom Tonks. Boston with Matthew Carson booked in the first half, but he's been subbed, so that won't play a part. But Marcel Lavinia, the right back, is also on a booking. So again, just a few back stories just to keep an eye on, and 2 of Tamworth's more physical players on yellow cards. Again, I think that might just affect them as it would, a fullback on a yellow card. So Boston free kick, which Sloggett will take. midway inside the Tamworth half, just right of centre this. Again, Mills and Fogarty coming forward, Lancashire as well from the back. 2 minutes into this second half. Sloggett, right hand up in the air, delivers the cross into the box, can't get to any Boston players, cleared away as Waldock tries to get it back for Sloggett. It's a looping ball into the box and one that Singh can come and gather quite comfortably, so Fogarty, Mills and Lancashire all retreating back to where they need to, and Singh plays it out to his right. It's a long ball forward, Lancashire back defending this time. Coyle clears. I was waiting for the sound effect and there it was.
Yeah, not had the experience of the Tamworth main stand before, so I'll bear that one in mind second half. But United again there, the back line was completely betwixt and between. It was Lavinia and Coyle and Lancashire trying to deal with this left hand side. I'm not sure who was covering the right, but Tamworth are managing to move the Pilgrims around in the transition.
And Tonks has played the throw short this time, crossed into the box. Iwula's clearance just hits a Tamworth man. It's back out to Tonks, a looping ball right under the crossbar of Reese Lovett, who can come and gather it.
And a first assessment of the wind in the second half, and it did just seem to hold up a little bit there. Lovett a touch off balance, but able to claim, thankfully for the Pilgrims, as we see Jacob Scott, one of the injured United men.
Oh, Iwula's got past the goalkeeper. Iwula, can he get it in? No, it's cleared off the line. The referee's given a penalty. Iwula fouled. It was just a long straight ball down the middle. Geordie Iwula getting behind the defence. Jazz Singh is the man who's been booked, I think, and it will be a Boston United penalty, and Geordie Iwula there just couldn't get back on his feet to tuck the ball home, and fair play to the referee, tried his best to play the advantage there, but what a glorious chance this is for Boston United to go 2-0 up.
What are we, 5 minutes into the second half, and as you say, a long straight ball. You'd have thought Tamworth of all teams would be able to do with those, but no. Iwula alive to the situation, that turn of pace, he got in behind, got there first, and the referee just waited to make sure the ball wasn't going anyway, and for the first time since the 14th of September 2024 in the league, United have a penalty. Can they now do what they haven't done since Jimmy Knowles in the playoff final and score a league penalty? And Rob, who is going to take it?
It is going to be Geordie Iwula. 2 goals already for Boston this season. Can he score his third of the season and give Boston a 2-0 lead here at Tamworth? He won the penalty. Can he score the penalty? Big moment here at the start of the second half. 5.5 minutes into this second 45. Referee is making Geordie Iwula wait an extremely long time. It's 3 steps, 4 steps backwards for Iwula. Up against Singh. Referee will blow on his whistle. Can Iwula score? Steps up, fires it straight down the middle. Geordie Iwula on the score sheet. Boston lead 2-0.
And the Pilgrims have made that first half dominance reflect on the scoreline. 5 minutes into the second, winning a penalty for the first time in so long, and it was Iwula that won it, it was Iwula that scored it. United wouldn't have dreamt they'd be 2-0 up coming here. That's exactly the position they find themselves in. A bit of quality, capping what has been Iwula's best display without the ball. He won it high up the pitch, as you say, beat Singh to it and then beat Singh from the spot. Boston United 2-0 to the good here at Tamworth.
And the attendance as well, good travelling support here today, Christian.
Yes, as I just move across from one spreadsheet to the other, we did hear it at half time. The attendance today including 206 very loud, very buoyant Pilgrims at the moment in the total of 1,012, so just 806 home fans to the 206 travelling Pilgrims, and at the minute they are toasting a Iwula second.
So Geordie Iwula on the score sheet, his third of the season, and Boston United 2-0 up here at Tamworth, who are back on the attack straight away down the left hand side. Cross into the edge of the area, missed kick from Sloggett but cleared away from Boston's penalty area. Hollis steps on the ball, Donnelly tries to get it past Hollis, and now it's with Donnelly out on the right hand side. Forward ball for Dylan Hill, who comes to the ground, and Kieran Donnelly there, I think, was just trying to nip it past Hollis in the hope that he would stick out a left leg and commit a foul, because that could have easily been a second yellow, and it's now how Boston can just get the job done.
Can they make an advantage out of those little bits of fortune and good play they've created?
Although it's Tonks now racing down the left. Lavinia back at him. Tonks ends up on the ground, not happy. and it's a goal kick.
I think this is more performative than in genuine pain from Tonks, but he is holding his ankle. He's cut a frustrated figure since the opening half an hour on a booking alongside Hollis, the other key man, the key threat, trying to win the ball back in the midfield and defensive areas for the hosts. He's already been booked for dissent, and he's only wasting his own time here.
Well,
really positive from United.
This could be quite a night for Boston United. Again, bouncing back after a dreadful performance.
Just when you're ready to give up on them, they beef you back up again, don't they?
They are.
They deserve it. They've been the better team.
Yeah. They are really inconsistent, Boston United, when it comes to performances more than anything else. There's a header in from Fogarty. It was a high boot from Tamworth, and the home fans getting a little more frustrated here with what they're seeing. The Boston fans not frustrated at all.
No, their late travelling efforts rewarded, and despite the fact it's one of the more local away games, it's going to be another late finish for those Pilgrims fans. They've got another away game to look forward to, and suddenly you're ruining that 10 days without a game. You want them to keep coming and keep that momentum going. It is Altrincham up next for United, currently managerless Altrincham, a week on Wednesday.
Love it, clears long towards the man who scored the second goal here, Wooler. Oh, just unlucky, just a little bit heavy, but I think you mentioned in the first half, Christian, that he just looks a little sharper. I know Graham Cochrane talked a lot about this. He'd not played for a year, and you wondered when that sharpness would come, but it just feels today that we're seeing that bit of sharpness from Geordie Hawula.
He looks alive, he looks brighter. Not to say he didn't before, but he looks really interested today. You know, he looks like he wants the ball, he wants to make things happen, and he clearly backs himself. There's been 2 or 3 things that haven't come off, but he's tried something ambitious, something a bit audacious, and there again, just rolling his foot. It didn't come off, but I don't mind him trying to make things happen high up the pitch, because United have at times been a little bit predictable in those areas, but today we've seen a bit of quality from Donnelly to finish the first, a nice turn and an effort high into the right hand side of Jazz Singh's goal, and then Hawula crafting the second. It is a front 2 United have persisted with despite John Lewis's injury, and they're both on the score sheet.
So the Pilgrims leading here, although Tamworth, we know, still have a real threat and plenty of options on the bench as well, which is what Boston don't necessarily have. As the touch forward, now Lancashire having to backtrack. It's Inoru down that right wing, just takes a little touch past Lancashire, plays it across the penalty area, cross into the far post, and not enough contact on it from Stefan Moles, who could have easily slotted home. He didn't get enough on that right foot, and Lovett was able to dive on the ball and gather.
It's the first time United have allowed a cross to go all the way through from one wing through to kind of that back post region, and it's in again.
It's in again, it's a lob! And it's in! Out of nothing! Again, Reese Lovett, a long kick forward, and there's Kieran Donnelly, one touch, lob it over, thank you very much, 3-0.
Up the Route 1 Pilgrims, that's twice in an 11-minute-old second half. United have delivered from their goalkeeper straight down the pitch, and they've caught Jazz Singh out. The first one he tried to deal with, and he clattered Hawula. The second he stayed, and Kieran Donnelly had the presence of mind, the deftness of touch to just lift it over the onrushing goalkeeper. I can't, and I don't think anyone else that's travelled from Lincolnshire today can quite believe what they've seen. What they've seen is United score 3 goals without reply, and we've not yet played an hour.
No, twice. Reese Lovett with 2 assists, basically, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know the penalty probably doesn't count as an assist because it was obviously a set piece, but 2 long kicks, one's led to a penalty, the other one, Kieran Donnelly, and again, confidence from Donnelly. Nonchalant, wasn't it, really, the way he just lobbed it over?
Matter of fact, almost. It was almost an attitude of, well, if you're going to present me a chance like that, it's only going to end up in the back of the net. Boston, 3 goals to the good, and that's a clattering challenge
by Moles that time.
We've seen bookings for Leicester this afternoon. I'm not sure we're quite going to see one here. But no, reflecting on the Pilgrims' position, they just... You don't want to be negative when you're 3-0 up. They just don't want to give them a little sniff back in the game in the next 10 minutes now. The home crowd, the home fans, the home team, very, very frustrated. Boston just need to settle down now, see 10 minutes out, a boring 10 minutes, and then see where we end up in this game. Zach Mills, the latest to stand up to a physical battle, and one that he's come out on the end of. And in the end, it is a booking for number 6, Alfie Bates.
So Bates booked probably just for the remonstrations, and Well, it is strange, isn't it, how things happen, but Boston's away wins in the league this season have come when they've scored 3 goals.
Yeah,
which is bizarre when you think of how Graham Coughlin usually sets up his team as being hard to beat. Their wins at Aldershot, at Gateshead, both days Boston scored 3 and they're 3-0 up here.
Yeah, and they haven't kept a clean sheet on the road for over 7 months now. Braintree the last time. They're not necessarily going to need to do that today to take a win back with them, but you just know if it is a win to 0, that'll be the first thing the manager praises, especially here.
Donnelly tries to get clear again. Coyle knocks it down. Hawula tried to flick it through. Hill into the challenge, and Singh will come across to come and gather that. Donnelly was being fought by Hollis there, and anything Manchester United can do, Boston can do better. Manchester United now 3-0 up against Brighton in the Premier League in the late kick-off. As the ball is back on the halfway line with Tamworth. 2 Donnelly goals, a Hawula penalty at the moment. The difference here for the Pilgrims, leading by 3-0 for the Tamworth side, who could have gone in the playoffs. I'm sure the talk pre-match from the Tamworth fans was the hope that they could be in the playoff places by the end of play. A bit like Tuesday was all about Boston being in the top half of the table. Results mean tonight that can't happen for Boston, but they can be top of the bottom half of the table.
Yeah, and the Tamworth fans would have every right, well, firstly they'd have every right to wonder why that wasn't a free. The results today, they haven't lost here since the opening day. They haven't lost in the league here, since the opening day against Scunthorpe, and beaten in 10 in all competitions. And having sat at home and seen the Pilgrims result coming on Tuesday night, I actually think they were probably thinking we're getting the right team at the right time here, but that's not the way it's proved. They have got the opportunity to deliver one of these quintessentially Tamworth long throws into the box and try and make their way back into the...
Yeah, the referee's just going to come over to the... Is he coming over to the Tamworth bench here? Yeah, I think he is. I think one of the Tamworth management team is going to be booked. No, sent off. One of the Tamworth coach staff is not the manager. I'm not too sure who that is, but he's been sent off.
Yeah, and he's still
having to go at the fourth official.
I think pleading his case might be generous. He's making his frustrations known. I assume he was asking why there wasn't a free kick given. As I said, there did seem to be an arm on the back of the Tamworth man, but it wasn't given, and I'm afraid someone's lost their cool over there as this continues. What it is doing is wasting more and more of the home side's time. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Get off down the tunnel and deal with it.
Do that for another half an hour if he likes, as far as I'm concerned. But we are eventually going to get this game back underway.
He was having a tantrum there, wasn't he, the coaching stuff?
Not a happy man.
And he's still complaining. And he's finished now. There we go. He can go and have a sulk in the dressing room. So, long throw from Tonks into the Boston penalty area. Cleared away. And Boston trying to bring it forward. Lavigne can't quite get the challenge in. He's still fighting for it. Boston trying to win it back with Hill out on that right-hand side. Donnelly with a big right boot away. And Singh will have to come across out as his penalty area. A reminder, earlier on today, Lincoln losing 1-0 at Leyton Orient, remaining 6th in League One though. Reaction to that game available over on BBC Sounds if you missed it. Just search for Lincoln City. Here, Boston leading by 3-0, and it's given away by Tamworth once again. Lancashire back into the side today, and Boston have looked so much better with Zap Mills and Alex Lancashire in that back four. But here come Tamworth, a lovely 1-2 with Fairlamb driving forward into the edge of the penalty area. Lavigne gets back, brilliant block from the Boston right back. Lancashire's down on the floor in the penalty area, trying to get back to his feet. And we're going to get a long throw coming in, but Lancashire there, not quite sure what happened to him, but he was down in the box.
And he was down with the ball still alive as well. If that had been delivered into the area, Boston would have had a stricken man lying on the edge of the 6-yard box. So initially concerned, we're not for once this evening seeing the physio invited onto the pitch, and instead what we are going to see is another one of these crowded 6-yard boxes for Reece Lovett to try and manage.
So long throw about to come in from Tonks, long throw number 7 of the evening. So here comes the throw from Tonks. Boston need to defend this once again. It goes through absolutely everybody, and is that going to go out of play? Yes, it is. It will go out of play for a goal kick once again for Reece Lovett. So having led 1-0 at half time through Kieran Donnelly's 20th minute strike, which was top left hand corner, they then go and score 2 goals in 5 second half minutes. First, it was Geordie Hawula from the penalty spot after he was played through from the goalkeeper, Rhys Lovett, and Hawula taken out by Jazz Singh and able to slot home straight down the middle. And then another Rhys Lovett long ball, and it was Kieran Donnelly lobbing over Singh for his second, Boston's third. And we are 18 minutes into this second half. Duku heads it forward. Still with Tamworth out to the right though to Tonks. Comes off Coyle for a Tamworth corner.
2 subs ready for the hosts, but they're not going to make the changes. Well, they've got this corner. You would assume, even if they did score from this, very little of a change in terms of the plan, trying to get back into the game, and then will come on. But for now, they're trusting those that have got them in trouble to try and at least get one back here from the corner kick.
So here comes the corner, right-footed out swinger from Milnes. Again, goes over the head of absolutely everybody. Hill just goes chasing out to the left-hand side, but it's with Tamworth once again, breaking into the box. Plays it to Tonks just outside the area now. Shot's going to come in, well blocked by Hawula. Still with Tamworth out on the right with Milnes. This time Waldock blocks the cross, and Boston are sticking to their task really well in that defensive third.
Really good defensive work from their attacking threats there. Waldock and Hawula both making critical blocks and just stemming the home tide for now. We said there will be that moment that comes. It does appear to be here, but it's going to continue without... I thought that was the number 4 of Tom Tonks, but it seems as though
Duku.
It might well have been the 9 for Duku, yeah.
I think it was Oliver Lynch who's coming on. The fourth official is the quickest ever man with a board there, because he does not give any time to look at what's actually going on. Ronan Mayer is the other man coming on for Alfie Bates, I think it was.
Yeah, Bates has struggled in midfield, hasn't he? He's the one that Boston managed to pick the pocket of on 2 or 3 occasions in the first half. And we see another midfield presence in Mayer, one that the home fans like the look of. They're just having 5 or 10 minutes here, aren't they? Boston needs to try and hold firm and not give Tamworth that first step back towards an unlikely comeback. 25 minutes left in this game.
Just confirming it was Tim Dudding, the man who was sent off from the Tamworth bench as well. So here comes the long throw once again from Tonks, and Lovett is down on the ground, and it will be a Boston United free kick.
It's very rare that you see a goalkeeper manhandled to the ground in one of those situations, but that's exactly what happened there. Not a very difficult decision for the EFL official to give.
I'm surprised we've not seen Jordan Ponticelli, a man who's scored plenty of goals for Kings Lynn.
A bit of spark, a bit of craft, it's what it needs, doesn't it? They've tried the usual hasn't worked, Boston have been equal to it. Why not try a bit of threat, especially having now taken off the number 9 as well. You need 3 goals to try and make something happen in this game. And they've also got De Silva, the man just signed on loan yesterday from Sutton, who came on for half an hour against the Pilgrims last time you and I teamed up down at Gander Green Lane. He's on the bench to try and provide a bit of pace as well. So Andy Peaks isn't without options.
No, that day we walked around Wimbledon in the sunshine. It's definitely not that type of weather today as it is with Tamworth at the moment. Oh, Digi, a heavy touch from him, and he's just been able to get away with that. But he's given the ball straight away to Dylan Hill out on the right hand side. Hill goes back for Lavinia. First time ball forward, looking for the run of Donnelly. Hollis is going to try and see that one out, but Donnelly's done really well. He's broke away from his man into the box. Dylan Hill with the effort straight at the goalkeeper, Singh.
They're probably the wrong way around, weren't they? Hill laying off, Donnelly laying off for Hill instead of vice versa. But again, good work with gaining possession, high up the pitch from the Pilgrims, and another opportunity to only increase this lead.
As Mills fires it long, and again, it was something Graham Coughlin said in post-match. Said a lot post-match Tuesday, which caught the eye, but he said about my teams don't play it between the 2 centre halves, and it has been very clear tonight. Zach Mills and Tommy Fogarty. And this is no criticism because it's worked extremely well, is that whenever they have got the ball anywhere near their feet, they are whacking it.
Absolutely, and I think Boston discovered last year, and they're discovering with their better performances this year, that what you can't afford when you are that underdog, when you are expected to struggle in a division, is to be too snobby about the way you go about things. And there's a lot of people in football that will say there's a correct way to play, there's an easy on the eye way to play. Well, I'll more than happily watch Boston launch it from the centre halves and the goalkeeper when required and win games 3-0 in the National League, because you only take them as they come, and ultimately results justify the means. And Boston have done the ugly stuff well tonight. They've battled, they've cleared well, they've blocked plenty, and twice in this second half they've pounced on a moment of indecision in a very experienced Tamworth back line triple the lead.
Quarter of the game to go. Jazz Singh's about to take a free kick, the goalkeeper for Tamworth, almost on the centre spot. Bearing in mind he has been lobbed tonight already. They are taking a few chances. Donnelly is back defending. Singh instead has taken it short to Fairlamb to deliver the ball long into the box. Header easily won by Mills. Flicked on by Boston. Now Hill will look to drive forward. Still Dylan Hill fighting for it on that right hand side. This time he loses out. Lavinier into the challenge, does well, then blocks the clearance forward. Huulu's going to go chasing after this. Fairlamb has to spin on the ball and then fire it long. Sloggett knocks it down out to the right hand side for Donnelly. Lovely turn on the ball, brilliant from Kieran Donnelly. He's on a hat-trick and he's driving forward here into the edge of the penalty area. Can't find Waldock. Hill then gets there, going towards the byline, tries to get the cross in, does get the cross in to Waldock. Hill giving him an option, crossed into the area. Donnelly trying to turn, but the offside flag has gone up for Boston United. But looking like they can go and score a fourth here. They are not sitting back.
Well, the real Boston United, please make themselves known. What a week we've seen from the Pilgrims. One of the worst performances in a long time on Tuesday night, losing 4-0 at home to Morecambe. And then they come to Tamworth depleted, lacking leadership. The return of Mills clearly key, but they've been busy, they've been bright. Geordie Huula's won the ball back 5 or 6 times off the back line, and they've been full credit. They've been swashbuckling in the second half. They've looked confident, they've been robust, and those little moments like that have gone their way as well. And Mr. Tonks probably doesn't want to point to his head too many more times on a booking.
No, he's not happy. Decision, I mean, it was clearly a Boston throw, which will be taken by Alex Lancashire right in front of us. Thought about going back to Rhys Lovett and probably realised the manager would not want that, so instead he's going to go down the touchline. Digi wins the header away. Fogarty, who's had a much better game for Boston United tonight. Donnelly flicks it on. Huula goes down 20 yards out from goal. Referee not giving a foul. Donnelly going chasing after it for Boston and then just trips his man and now he will be booked.
Bit of frustration there from Donnelly. He was beaten to that one, unfortunately, and a petulant little kick of the ankles, quite rightly a booking. But again, as much as Huula wasn't able to win that one on this time, he's just had a nose for the loose ball tonight. It's something that we haven't seen in his game up to now, and suddenly he's had a real acumen for putting himself in the right place at the right time and causing havoc for the two centre halves, Hollis and Diggy, with the ball at their feet. And he's had a partner in Donnelly that's been able to support him.
Long ball forward by Tamworth. Free header for Zach Mills. Digi goes after it. Long ball forward. That should be Rhys Lovett's, and it will be Rhys Lovett's. So he'll come and gather that as Brighton have pulled a goal back against Manchester United. Now 3-1 at Old Trafford.
Hopefully that's where those parallels end.
Yeah, I was going to say tonight has been pretty similar in terms of goal times, as the long ball forward from Lovett, well, nearly bounced up over there. That would just sum up the night, wouldn't it, really? Rhys Lovett, who came in for some criticism at the end of Tuesday night. A couple of the goals certainly he felt he could have done better with, but tonight helped setting up 2 goals. As the long ball forward, Hollis goes back to his goalkeeper Singh once again. It's Tamworth 0, Boston 3 here. Sloggett heads it away, can't direct the header where he wants to. Fairlamb has it, fired forward again. Greg Sloggett, much better from him tonight, heads it away as a firework goes off in the background. Coyle heads it away, now long again from Tamworth. Boston trying to get it back. It's going to be a long ball forward from Milnes, and that will go out for a throw, I think, right next to the corner flag.
Throw. It's funny, actually, a conversation I think it was myself and you, Rob, had after pre-season. Certainly Craig and I were discussing it. Kieran Donnelly's got that little bit of the Ricky Millers about him in terms of his play, and that finish is one that we saw 2 or 3 times from Miller in that fantastic purple patch he had at the end of his second spell with United. That lofted finish up and over. Yeah, really positive signs from United if Donnelly can find a bit of form in the league in front of goal. Rhys Lovett, if he is going to go down with an assist, I think we're fairly confident he is, just the 4th Boston goalkeeper to record one. Those records beginning in 2011. The last one, Peter Crook, just over 6 years ago, away at Alfreton.
Yeah, I think definitively the second one is.
Yeah, he might struggle with the penalty, unfortunately, but he joins Ashley Timms, Sam Vince and Peter Crook, the only other Boston goalkeepers to have an assist on the record.
So long throw for Tonks, number 9 of the evening for him. Tamworth here currently trailing 3-0 against Boston United. A few of the Boston players want to go for a warm-up but can't quite do so, having to wait for Tonks to cross their path as he chucks this one in. Tamworth man down in the box, nothing given. Still with the home side out on the left. Boston having to defend. And again, sticking to the task extremely well there. Fired away by Lavinia. Hill, the ever-willing runner. Fairlamb comes across to win the ball back for Tamworth. Hill chasing after him. Lavinia doesn't quite get into the challenge. Hill's down on the ground. It's a collision between him and Fairlamb, and the cross is about to come in, and Kieran Donnelly now ends up awkwardly on the ground, and it will be a Tamworth corner.
I wouldn't like to pick the bones out of the clash with Hill on the right hand side, but there was an almighty scuffle going on, and then Donnelly ended up what looked like just booted in the air, but he didn't have many complaints, so clearly a different challenge to the one I thought I'd seen, and it is going to be a corner for the home team.
So Boston leading 3-0 here with 17 minutes to go. Cross comes into the box, headed away again by Zach Mills, cleared further away by Waldock. Boston is having to get their defensive line sorted as the ball is played back down the left. Nobody has been tracking the run down there of that side. Played into the box again, headed away by Boston, this time from Lancashire's head. It's out to Milnes, now out on the right again with Inoru. Boston with players there just watching Inoru, not allowing him to get anywhere. Played back to Milnes, another cross into the box. This time Sloggett stoops to head it away. Coyle goes chasing after it, but again it's Tamworth coming forward. Sloggett just stopping the run of the substitute Ronan Mayer, who throws it in quickly, not electing to use the long throw this time. Mayer has it. Cross into the box. Now played out to the to the right hand side to Tonks. Lancashire blocks his cross. Coyle has to be careful and just fires it long and away. Again, don't want to take any chances, any risks. Oh, as Jazz Singh nearly did there. It nearly hit Kieran Donnelly. Ball forward towards Mayer once again. Mayer looks to go past Sloggett and does go past Sloggett. Good challenge comes in from Lancashire. Can he prevent the corner as well? Yes, he's done very, very well, Alex Lancashire. The clearance wasn't the best, though. Tired looking clearance. Boston having to defend here for the first time, really, in this game for a sustained period. It's back out to the left-hand side for Inoru once again. Goes towards the byline, looks to get it back across goal. Fogarty this time able to get it clear, and Dylan Hill gets there in front of Tonks as we await two more Tamworth changes. Ball back on the halfway line with Donkor. Out to the right once again to Mayer. Left-footed ball into the box. Flicks off the head of Digi and miscue clearance from Lavinia. It will be a Tamworth throw once again. The first spell, 15 minutes to go, Christian, where Boston are under a real spell of pressure.
Yeah, there's a lot of tired legs out there, aren't there? I know after tonight there's this long period without a game, so you can understand the manager deciding to keep those that have done the job so far on and just drain the energy reserves ahead of a 10-day rest. But whether it be another 90 minutes in quick succession or returning back from injury, Lancashire, Lavinia, Mills in particular in that back line just looking a little fatigued.
Well, Kennedy Digi is off. On comes Jordan Cullinane-Liburd and Dylan De Silva on for Stefan Moles.
So still no Jordan Ponticelli. Cullinane-Liburd, centre half you'd imagine would be employed higher up the pitch to try and win something in the Boston attacking area. He was actually sent off against United 3 years ago tonight in his Brackley days. So make a more positive contribution.
Throw in number 10 for Tom Tonks to put into the box from the left hand side. Boston leading here by 3-0 on BBC Radio Lincolnshire. The ball into the area, headed towards goal, cleared away by Fogarty, and then Hill gets it further clear. It's Rob Makepeace, Christian James with you through until 8 o'clock tonight.
It's the first for a long time that Tamworth have actually made the first contact in their box, but Boston able to pick up the seconds.
Ball played back into the area. Boston not able to get it clear as of yet. Mills tries to get there. Hiwula, calmest man in the building, able to fire that one away. And there's a Tamworth man down in the box. Play continues. It's Milnes who's down. It's out to the left to Mayer, who's looked lively down this side. Tries to work a little bit of space for a ball into the box. Instead he plays it across to Tonks, who collides with the referee, and play continues. I thought the referee was going to pull it back there, to be fair, because he collided with Tonks. It's not really the referee's fault that he was there, but I think he should have possibly just stopped playing, had a drop ball there.
I think that would have been common sense, wouldn't it? I think Boston, they wouldn't have allowed a free shot or a free play into the box, but I'm sure they would have been quite understanding with Tamworth wanting possession in midfield, and Tonks probably did well not to talk himself into a second booking, because he was marked out the game by the official, who's now got a big sprint to just go and check on Rhys Lovett's well-being.
I was going to say, I was listening to Michael and Tony commentating on Lincoln at Leyton Orient, and the frustration when Leyton Orient's goalkeeper went down. At the time, obviously Leyton Orient winning and went on to win, and it is one of those, now we're on the other side of it at the moment from a Lincolnshire perspective. It's quite joyous witnessing the frustration around us.
Yes, a bit of schadenfreude for your Saturday evening entertainment, but I'm sure this aside, Boston will have a good bit of injury time to deal with.
I've just seen what the official Boston United account has tweeted. Lovett down receiving a spot of treatment. Let's hope he's okay to continue.
Bit of sass from the account we had last Saturday. Matthew Scholes has given Boston a decision, 90+11. Rest assured, Pilgrim fans, it's not another one for the injury list. It does seem as though Lovett is going to battle on here, deny young Harry French his first appearance in United colours.
Yeah, Boston are readying a change by the looks of it. Is that Manny Norkett, I think, potentially? Looks like he's getting set, ready to continue. So we are going to get a
free kick.
No, it's a
free kick
with Singh. That's it. I lost track of where the ball was there for a second. It was that long ago since Lovett went down with that serious injury. So ball's going to be played back into the edge of the penalty area. Sloggett heads it away. Hiwula, can he get on the end of this? And he's got runners forward. He's tried to play it through for Donnelly, but just not enough really to give Donnelly even a chance of getting on that one. 10 to go here. Boston leading by 3-0. It's out to Mayer on the right hand side on the halfway line. Lancashire not allowing him anywhere forward, so has to go back to Cullinane Liebird. Looks to switch play out to the left as Lavigne comes in and does really well to win it. Now with Hill, just protects it. Hiwula holds on to the ball. Short for Waldock. Boston now looking to play a little bit of football as Fogarty goes back to Lovett in goal. Clearance forward, trying to find Coyle. Can't quite do so. Tamworth back to Doncor. Has to go to Cullinane Liebird. Looks up. Long run, long ball forward, looking for the run of the centre forward in Lynch. But it's back to Lovett, and Lovett has found the car park.
Yeah, what Boston don't want to happen here, especially now Tamworth have got a few fresh legs and a bit more creative impetus, is what we saw in that Rochdale game in March when United were 3-0 up and then suddenly 2 late goals make a real game of it. The Pilgrims will want a dull final 10 minutes for the cameras here. Ideally, they want to take a clean sheet back with them to Lincolnshire.
Long throw from Tonks into the penalty area. Lovett with a big punch away to the edge of the penalty area. Boston trying to win it back. It's hooked back into the penalty area, cleared away once again by Lancashire and then fired away by Waldock. Again, Kieran Donnelly, the ever willing runner for Boston. Fairlam goes back to his goalkeeper in Singh on his left foot, clears it long. I wonder if Kieran Donnelly's race will be run as Sloggett collides with his man, and Boston breaks in the midfield. Forward for Hiwula. Runners forward, he's got plenty of options. Coyle's out on the left hand side. It's found for Rocco Coyle, just holding on to the ball. Goes out to Lancashire, the left back. Back for Coyle once again. He goes back to Mills. Tamworth chasing as Sloggett then just gives the ball away. And Graham Coughlin not happy with that, and I can understand why, because that was a nice little spell for Boston there, having the ball.
It was good left to right, wasn't it? Donnelly running like a man who thinks he's going to be subbed in a few minutes, but on a hat-trick and with a long break after this, you'd have assumed would be hungry to carry on.
Yeah, Manny Norkett has got his bib on still, so as Lancashire into the challenge, will be a Tamworth free kick. Lancashire, having served that one match ban on Tuesday night against Morecambe, will not want to start his journey towards a 2-match ban.
No, and Norkett's got the bib off now, but we're not going to see him introduced. It's got to be one. I mean, Donnelly would be the most like for like to replace.
I think
if it isn't Hawula, I'd be very surprised to see Boston now go 3 up top.
Free kick into the area. Boston man is down and he's been clattered by Cullinane Liebert. I think that's Lancashire again who's taken a blow. And he should be okay to continue, and we should see Manny Norkett on. So Boston here, 7 minutes to go, leading by 3 goals to 0. Kieran Donnelly's first half effort, spinning in the penalty area, putting it in the top left. The second coming from a kick forward from the goalkeeper, Lovett. Hawula going through on goal, taking a touch past Singh, was taken out on his way through, nearly able to put it in the net, but the referee pulling play back for a penalty. And Hawula slammed it down the middle to make it 2-0. And then the third coming just 5 minutes later, another long ball from Lovett. And there was Kieran Donnelly just to loop it right-footed over the on-rushing Singh as the rain is falling here. But Boston United and those supporters huddled behind the goal to the left, very happy.
Fascinating game. I think coming here, everyone just had the sense if this isn't the sort of fixture you'd have picked for Boston after the performance on Tuesday night with the men out, and we caveat that with the fact we didn't really expect to see Zach Mills, and we have done tonight, but Boston's charges have stood up to the battle. They've more than matched the robust start that Tamworth put them through. They've been clinical in front of goal. They've had a bit of quality, a bit of craft. They've won so many loose balls in the Tamworth half and in midfield, and they've had winning runners from full back, and with Waldock and Donnelly supporting Hawula to make those inroads, and it is the end of the evening for Geordie Hawula.
So Hawula about to make his way off. He's being told by Ben Milnes that he needs to come off, and the referee is just telling Hawula to go off right in front of us. So Hawula will make the long walk round, and I think he's going to enjoy the adulation of the Boston fans here. He's made a choice. It would be quicker to go right, with the Tamworth fans are. Instead, he's going to go left.
He's going to go all the way around and take full applause for what has been a fantastic performance from Geordie Hawula. He's looked a complete forward this evening. He's been fantastic, comfortably his best display without the ball, and then with it he's produced some key moments, not least getting in front of Singh to win that penalty and double the Boston lead from it.
4.5 minutes to go plus added time. Lancashire just walking in front of us, ready to come back on. So Manny Norkett, 1 goal in a Boston shirt this season at Hartlepool.
I think Donnelly will be telling him his job's to create a hat-trick sealer for him.
Yeah, that would be nice, wouldn't it? That would just end the night as we all would want, as Hill heads it out. Lancashire still waiting to come back on here. Thrown forward by Tamworth. Boston still down to 10, and now the ball has gone out for a Boston throw, and Alex Lancashire surely is allowed back on there.
You'd assume so, and diligent work from Lancashire there. As much as he wasn't going to be allowed on field, he was going to make sure he was as far up or down the pitch as he needed to, as Geordie Hawula takes the high fives from anyone and everyone willing to offer one in that away end to our left-hand side. You've got to enjoy it when the going's good, and it's up to the management and the players to get their feet on the floor a little bit. But for those Boston fans that have travelled again, having been so disappointed on Tuesday night, their effort's been more than rewarded by a fantastic performance here.
Long free kick forward, headed away by Cullinane Liebert. Boston trying to win it back. It's now Fogarty who fires it away. Long ball forward by Mayer this time, looking for the run out on the left hand side of Inoru. Back heel from him, just played behind his man. Still, it's Boston leading here by 3 goals to 0 with 3 minutes plus added time to go. Cross into the box, easily gathered by Rhys Lovett, who I think, apart from the one effort which squirmed near him, has not had a save to make tonight.
No, the volley was easy enough 5 minutes into the second half, wasn't it? He's punched one of the balls into the box free, but even the throws and the corners, his defence, in particular first half Lavinia and second half Mills, have been able to deal with it largely unchallenged on his behalf. He'll just want to seal the deal on a clean sheet, just the 4th in his 18 Boston appearances. United's first on the road since Braintree on the 15th of March, and Capwood has been a fantastic display. and undoes all the disappointment of Tuesday night.
I was going to say, I said before the 3 games, 5 points would have been a brilliant tally, and I think many would have thought 3 points against Morecambe and maybe 2 draws, but to get 4, then you almost look back at Morecambe on Tuesday night and think, well, could it have been 7? It's easy to look back that way, but Boston would be up to 13th tonight, 7 off the playoffs, 7 off the bottom 4.
And it'd be that unbeaten run continuing as well that was so abruptly ended in midweek. But I think we have to praise Boston tonight. They've done the job. They've stood up to a battle. They have come here and played Tamworth at their own game, and so many teams come a crop of doing it. Well, Boston are 3 to the good.
Fogarty can't quite win the header, but it's going to drift through to Rhys Lovett, who's just going to be protected by his captain, Zach Mills. And we're into the final 90 seconds as Marcel Lavinier now has gone down.
We might be getting towards the realms of double digits on that added time board again for the second Saturday in a row, I fear.
Yeah, I'd say we are off air at 8 o'clock this evening for Hope and Glory, but if we don't get any post-match reaction before 8, it'll be available for you over on BBC Sounds by searching Boston United, as Brighton have pulled the goal back in the 93rd minute to make it 3-2 at Old Trafford. So a nervy finish there for Ruben Amorim's side. Well, that led 3-0 through Mateus Cunha, Casemiro and Brian Mbuemo, but Danny Welbeck, the former United player, and Kostulas scoring in the 92nd minute to make it 3-2.
That chap and his hair will suddenly be slightly less comfortable than he was at what looked like being a 3rd win in a row for Man United, as Marcel Lavinier, another good performer this evening, goes off. It's Grist coming on by the looks of it.
Yeah. So third change, and Ben Grist will come on, drop to the bench tonight in place of Zach Mills, and the referee is just about to drop the ball at Lovett's feet, and we know how ninja-like reflexes the 4th official has at getting the ball up and down, so I will let you keep an eye on the board. I'll keep an eye on the play, because otherwise we will completely miss how many minutes of added time there will be, as Lovett does go and gather the ball.
I won't be surprised if it's 10, certainly 8.
And he goes to fire it long, straight down the middle of the pitch.
And it's straight through the middle, it's 9.
9 minutes of added time. Boston 3-0 up here. Sloggett loses out in the midfield. Challenge comes in from Coyle. Will be a free kick for Tamworth. He's been told to move it back a couple of paces. Cullinane, Liebert and Hollis coming up from the back.
Maybe wishful thinking for Boston, but they almost might as well have Singh take this and send everybody forward now. They need 3 goals, albeit in 9 minutes.
One ball forward by Fairlam into the edge of the penalty area. Sloggett this time can't win the header. It's headed into the box and just goes through into the arms of Lovett. It was Milnes against his former side trying to break through, but couldn't do so. And Lovett can just take his time over this. Once again.
Lynch had just ambled offside for some reason. He'd have been in the right place had he.
As Hollis misjudges it. Luckily his goalkeeper was behind him, otherwise Norkick could have been in there. It's Cullinane Liebert who has it. Fairburn who has it. It's back to Singh in the goal. And again, Tamworth say they're a very direct side. They've now not gone direct at all and are taking their time at the back as it's played through in the midfield. Oh, well won back by Waldock, and then Cullinane Liebert fires it long. Mills heads it away. Boston 3-0 up here. We're in 9 minutes of added time. Sloggett goes long. Headed up into the air by Donkor. Boston with Waldock trying to play it through for Donnelly. Can't get there in front of Singh. And again, another minute and a half of that 9 has gone. Singh puts the ball down on the ground. Cleared long. Sloggett, free header. Cullinane Liebert, long once again. Grist needs to go up and win this header. Misjudges it. Fogarty, though, is behind him to clear it away. Hill flicks it on. Tonks tries to head it out to the left-hand side. Misjudgment on the header, but great skill in the midfield to win it back. Low ball into the box, misjudged by Coyle. Got something on it to get it away. Now with Mayer. Played out to the left to Fairlam. Still with the home side here. Boston having to defend. Grist can't stop the cross. Sloggett does. And Tamworth with their 4th corner of the evening, still trailing by 3-0.
A tired interception from Sloggett, but he was in the right place to cut out the low cross, and Boston continued to labour towards this clean sheet, and you'd almost be sitting now towards 3 points.
So right-footed in swinging corner for Tamworth. Can Boston defend as they have done all evening? Referee's already given a free kick.
Not the case there, but how many times this evening, both in midfield and open play and in Boston's box from throw-ins and corners, we've seen completely free and unchallenged headers for United. As we say, since the first 10 or 15 minutes in this game, when they didn't get decisions they felt they deserved from the referee, they've raised their physicality, they've stood up to the battle, they've given as good as they've got, if not a little bit more, and they've crafted themselves a fantastic 3 points.
So Lovett goes to clear it long. Header won by Tamworth. Manchester United has sealed 3 points at home against Brighton. 4-2 up now. Boston, you think, would seal 3 points here, although Fogarty's got the wrong side of his man there, but he got back really well. But it's still with Tamworth, just in the left-hand corner of the penalty area. Played out to the left. Cross comes in. Hill blocks it momentarily. Still with the home side, looking to get the shot in. And still on the front foot out on that left-hand side. Cross comes into the box. Fogarty lets it bounce, and Lovett with a wonderful dive to dummy it behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, Lovett taking the sting out of the situation and taking as much time as he can to just retrieve the ball from behind that home end. Boston fans are enjoying their evening. We had the old Michael Jassy tequila song recycled for Geordie Hooler as his way around the pitch. I think we've had a few home fans that have left early, just serenaded away from the Lamb as well, and they're no more than 5 minutes away from toasting a very impressive away performance from United.
Here comes Reece Lovett. Clears it long. Waldock heads it forward once again. Cleared away by Fairlam. It's Sloggett with all the time in the world in the centre circle to clear it down the left-hand touchline. Picked up by Donkor under a little bit of pressure from Norkett. Donkor goes long. Lancashire heads it away to Norkett. Lovely touch from the front man. Battling for it on the ground. And then gives away a free kick. And Boston will as much feel they've got the 3 points with just 4 minutes of any time remaining. They'll want to get that clean sheet now, because it's another big step, isn't it, after what happened on Tuesday, conceding 4 to the league's bottom club at the time. It's a real statement of intent, isn't it, getting a clean sheet here at Tamworth.
Well, and you just know what the first comment, especially if it comes so late in the game, will be from Graham Cockman if his side do throw away the clean sheet now. Sloggett finishing the game as he started it, holding his head after a heavy challenge from the Tamworth midfield, and Lovett can just trot out and shave away at the 9 minutes added. Little joke with the home crowd for him as well.
And such a nice buffer now for Boston United. 7 points off that bottom four. It's much better than it was this time last year, and it's fair to say, where we were entering a similar period of a blank weekend.
Absolutely. Pilgrims were already in trouble. It was only going to get worse for them this time around. They're probably quietly looking up the table as opposed to down. The other thing as well at that end, as much as it's 7 points, there's a lot of teams between them and the drop as well. If United do go on a barren run for a time, it's going to need results elsewhere to put them into serious trouble with any great speed.
Boston trying to win it back in the midfield. Zach Mills clears it away and goes long, and that will run out of play for a goal kick.
And I don't envy
the left back got man of the match.
Don't envy my Tamworth counterpart there, having to deliver man of the match.
I would say that 2 of the goals came from his side of the pitch, but again, that might not necessarily be his fault, but I'd just like to point that out. But again, I don't know who they'd go for, to be honest with you. There's not been many options. As Zach Mills miscontrols it, it is a chance for Tamworth into the penalty area. Lancashire blocks it, still not there, and Tamworth do have the goal. Late on, they have pulled the goal back. It was a mess at the back, really. Zach Mills' initial error, and it's 3-1. But Boston's 3 points shouldn't be in any concern.
Frustrating, and I think that will occupy the first minute or two of the post-match interview with the Pilgrims boss. Not able to secure that clean sheet. The wait for one on the road since March continues. In the grand scheme of things, it's not going to impact a great deal, but very frustrating. I couldn't understand Mills there. He was second best to it, quite rightly not wanting to give the referee a decision to make, even if it wasn't at the expense of a goal. And after a scruffy play where for the first time United didn't clear the 6-yard box, it did end up in the back of the net.
Slog it long ball forward, looking for Norkip. We have played 8 minutes of the 9 added on. It's Tamworth 1, Boston 3 here. Mayo with the long ball forward. Grist heads it away. Not the best of clearances though. It's an opportunity for De Silva, who scored on his debut here, to get a goal back. And now Tamworth all of a sudden looking lively. Waldock in the penalty area. It's a mess at the back. Tonks slides in, and Rocco Coyle will put a big right boot through it. Or a right big boot. Both of them are the same, really. Long ball back into the penalty area. Mills this time wins the header, and then wins the challenge, and then tries to pass it forward for a tired-looking Kieran Donnelly, who's fighting to win it. We've now played 8.5 of the 9 added on. Grist has to be careful not to get turned by his man. Gets his body in the way. Wins a free kick.
And that should be that.
Another step towards victory for Boston.
Yeah, good work the Pilgrims tonight. So they're just going to be that little frustration for them and for the manager. They couldn't keep the clean sheet. But as you pointed out earlier, Rob, 3 wins away from home. They've all needed 3 goals. They've all come with 3 goals, and United will enter this period of inactivity very satisfied with their bit of work this evening. And maybe it's being greedy, but given the next 2 away from home are Altrincham and Woking, an opportunity to continue the march up the table.
Well, there we go. That's been probably one of Boston United's best performances of the season. They have wrapped up the 3 points here at Tamworth, winning by 3 goals to 1. A brace for Kieran Donnelly. Geordie Hawula scoring from the penalty spot, and Boston never really looking under any spell of pressure here tonight, and up to 13th in the National League, Christian.
And it ends the first portion of the season. It ends it very positively, and it leaves Boston in a very strong position. I think back to a year ago when they were already 4 or 5 points adrift, and this same break came with the FA Cup. Not many teams have come here and be 3-0 up. Not many teams have come here and won the last 4 or 5 years, and Boston have done it. They've done it emphatically. They've won the battle. They've had the quality in front of goal. They played a front 2 tonight away from home without Lionel John Lewis, and they've both left with telling contributions and 3 goals to share between them.
And again, we all wondered pre-match what we were going to get in terms of team selection, but I think we see the importance of Zach Mills and Alex Lancashire tonight in how they were able to deal with Tamworth's threat aerially.
Hugely, and a bit of resilience after a shaky first few minutes as well. Boston, 5 or 10 minutes in, weren't looking too good, and we said how key the start would be, but they turned it around. They grew into the game. As we said, the referee was letting things go, and instead of feeling sorry for themselves, they just raised their levels, Boston. They gave as good as they've got. A couple of home fans said at half-time they're beating us at their own game, and they must have surely felt that way when they watched 2 goals come straight from the goalkeeper in the second half. Geordie Hawula, comfortably his best performance, particularly out of possession. Donnelly looking like a National League forward in front of goal. A backline well marshalled, not quite able to take that clean sheet. And Greg Sloggett, having looked second best to Tonks and to Milnes in the first half an hour or so, dominated the midfield for the final hour. Positives all over the pitch for the Pilgrims. They take 3 points back to Lincolnshire.